was amazing.
He was only 50 when he started to make copies.
Yeah, right?
But we have
Ruben is stealing the camera, everybody.
Christine
We're off the air.
Martucci is here tonight. Robert Vici from VetRest. Cheryl DiViega. Anthony Kryzan from the Spin Doctor.
Yeah. Go down.
Steve Keller from Rip. Dominia Monroe, future Grammy winner. This girl is going places, I'll tell you right now.
And her mother Denise. Don't forget her mother Denise.
And all Denise, yeah.
He's Kroll.
Her beautiful mother.
And all the people who listen to the
Both
show.
putting restraining orders on me as we speak.
That's got to be a big restraining order, man.
I want to thank you all for coming out. Can you guys hear it, or you can only hear us? Can you hear it from the feed over there?
What did you say? Put us through the speakers.
Can they hear it through the speakers, or that'll cause feedback? Okay, good.
It's not that big of a room, Carl.
All right.
Oh, and so okay, we lost the audience.
Did she say something? I can't hear that. All right, Christmas 2018. Everybody's out.
Next year we're doing it at Friendlies.
Yeah.
I think we should do it in that middle room where everybody was hanging out before. The smallest room everybody's hanging out.
You know what it felt like,
We're not
Paul?
gonna get chairs.
Remember
Sit on
Easy
your
Money with Rodney Dangerfield when they had the wedding scene in the
Funicula, yeah.
Nobody could move. That's what it reminded
It
me.
felt like the stateroom scene in Marx Brothers.
But
The 3 hardball legs. Yeah.
Food is here.
I want to bring up Colonel Vici if he wants to come up real quick. If somebody would please relinquish their seat temporarily.
He's one of these mics. These mics on?
Oh yeah,
Gene?
that's true.
We
He's
got
got
three
them up.
mics here.
Gina, these outside mics on?
Yep.
Can we put a chair by one of these mics?
Yeah, they're on.
Oh, he's gonna go. He's gonna go on Tim's mic. He's going on Tim's
He's
mic.
in the hot seat.
Tim, you're a prince. Tim Eli's here. A phenomenal radio guy, and he's a phenomenal stand-up comic, and he's a great friend and a great supporter of the show.
Hello, Tim.
Love you, Carl.
Timmy.
And don't make fun of him because he got a wet spot in his pants. Don't make fun of him.
Joining us in studio now is our good friend Robert Vici. He's the CEO of
Of course,
VetRest.
everybody's looking now.
All right, guys, we got to settle down. This is very important. When it comes to our military, I don't mess around. This man is the CEO of VetRest. It's a very important organization. It's an organization that needs every bit of help that it can get, because when it comes to our servicemen and women, we should spare no expense. But Rob, thanks for coming back.
Yeah. Carlo, you guys are all just the best. All
You
the
know,
best.
There's no counting for
I'm a
taste.
guy with wet
Thank
spot
you.
now. I don't have it too hard.
you who sacrificed for our country are the best, and Christine
Yeah.
too, who is a vet, and I.
She arrested me once.
Are there any other vets in the room?
Is this a Me Too moment? I don't know.
And his,
Rob,
Rob, a few vets in the room. There's a few other vets in the room.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's right.
Paul's a
Richard,
vet. Paul's a vet, right?
Paul,
That's right.
Sir.
and,
CTI.
and Steve Frenas.
Pete-
He's
Pete's a vet.
he's a combat veteran. Pete Michaels too. So if I'm sorry, I didn't realize, but they're all valued members.
Louis the Fork is a vet.
Yeah, he's a vet.
He worked KP. That's why they call Louis the Fork.
He worked in the kitchen. Yeah. So Rob, we had you on over this past year, and it was a phenomenal show. And I just wanted, what's been happening with VetRest?
We're growing leaps and bounds, Carlo. We are in 6 states operating. We're growing into another 4 or 5 states, hopefully next year. Of course, it takes funding. It takes support like you and everyone here in the room, support like Christine and Anthony and Cheryl for everyone to get the word out, get the message out. What we do at VetRest is we work with veterans and their families for those folks who are struggling with PTSD. You know, the soldiers, sailors, airmen all over the country are coming back struggling. Christine has a new song we're premiering tonight. Hopefully, we'll be able to do a little bit. And it's I just wanted to cut right to that because Cheryl DeVega wrote it with Anthony. And Cheryl was at West Point, my alma mater, one day, staying at the Thayer Hotel, just having a cocktail, because she does that.
That's what they all say. That's what they all say.
She does that once in a while. And nothing more than an explanation of divine intervention, that she wrote a song that word for word describes what a veteran goes through when they return from a hostile area. Well, unless you're married, from a hostile area.
I mean, like Camden? Like Camden?
Like Camden, yeah, anywhere. Or Mary Jane, one of my ex-wives. And the words really hit you home. And one thing in particular that hits me, and how Cheryl wrote this, she didn't have anyone who was in the military. She didn't know anyone at West Point at the time.
Right.
But she wrote a song, and some of the words are, "This purple heart won't even buy me a cup of coffee."
Oh, wow.
So when you think about that, You know,
Yeah.
home don't feel like home. When veterans are coming back, whether they're deployed in the combat zone or not, or hostile area or not, they come back to a different environment. They've changed. Their environment's changed. And what we do at VetRest is we help them try to find the new normal. You know, you never go back to the old normal.
Right.
I was having a discussion with a retired police officer today who was struggling with PTSD as well, because many of our men and women in uniform have the same struggles. Anyone who's lost a child to drugs or alcohol or to suicide or anything like that, all struggle with the same effects of PTSD. So it's important for us to keep the word out, keep the fight going, keep pushing. The government's not really helping so much. When we're done with you in the military, we're very great at onboarding. We're also great at pushing you out when we're done, because we have to pay for services and those kind of things. So it takes private folks like us, private equity funds, private people for donations that help us move along. So with songs that Christine sings and Anthony and Cheryl write, there's a lot of healing to be done. And the message gets out, and we're looking for godfathers to help us to get these songs out in the marketplace. You know, Jersey Style hits us really close that you play in your opener, which, thank you, Carlos, so much. And Home Don't Feel Like Home is just a magical song when you listen to the words. And you know, we don't talk about doom and gloom all the time, because we don't want to go down that trail. You know, watch anything on TV, any movie, or watch any skit or show or anything on Broadway, and it's depressing. And we all are PTSD'd out, we're all stressed out, we're all murdering everybody, we're all killing each other, and it's just not the way it is. Maybe 1 to 2% of our veterans that are struggling with severe PTSD might have those issues, but our post office people have those issues too. So,
has it gotten worse, Robert? Say since like Vietnam, is it progressed, or is it like a different form?
Just change the name.
World War II, it was shell shock, right?
Yeah, they changed the name. That's all.
World War II was shell shock, and Vietnam was battle fatigue.
Right.
I think.
Yeah.
You know what? The effects are the same, Carlo, and the treatments are the same. However, we're more aware today with social media and with all the coverage that we get.
Is the rate higher,
is better. I think the rate is. We've been churning young men and women out through combat zones for the past 9-10 years now. And like I say, we do a great job onboarding, but we do a terrible job of managing those effects. Because when you're struggling with PTSD, it is like an illness, and it's treatable, and it's very manageable. You know, if somebody drops a loud noise in here right now, I might come under the desk, but I know what my triggers are.
Ed comes under the desk all the time.
I've come under the desk 3 times today.
Yeah.
But you can tell.
It's early.
We can tell.
You know,
The room
Robert,
shakes.
If you will indulge me for a minute.
Indulge.
The last time you came on here, I know everybody's going to love. Could you tell the story about Jason?
Jason. We have a young veteran. He's 5 combat tours, and Jason was stationed overseas in not so nice places, which happens to many of our young men and women. And by the way, let me just give you one statistic. Our target shot group in the military are 18 to 25-year-olds. 17% of that class of that age range of people qualify to be in our military. Okay, so it's no longer, hey, you can go to jail or you can go to the Army. Yeah, that doesn't happen anymore. I think Paul had that issue. Paul was either going to go to jail or the Army.
Yeah, I took the jail.
This generation doesn't choose to serve like they did previously.
No. We used to be proud to serve. We used to be proud to serve World War II. Even Vietnam, men and women were proud to serve earlier on. It changed as
I went in the Navy because they said I was full of semen.
You were when you got there.
So Jason has a. I know I'm going down a dark trail here.
Sorry, it's the wrong kind of show.
So Tooch always has my back. A good NCO always has the colonel's back, always. So Jason has a very particular skill. He trains foreign governments, their people, how not to become a hostage.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so it's a very particular skill. I'm sure President Trump has gone through it, and anyone who goes through our White House, they're trained on how not to become a hostage. Right? Don't go to Camden for Pizza Hut in the early afternoon. You're probably not going to come back so well.
Right.
So Jason has this skill, and after 5 combat tours, he decided he's done. He's killed enough people. He's been shot at enough times. He's been in enough firefights. I cannot find this guy a job. He lives in West Palm Beach, Florida.
Really?
He's a skilled marksman. He is a very smart guy. He could manage any project, manage any team.
Right.
So
Has he tried the circus?
he's been in the Army for a long time.
Yeah, it's a great
Wow.
resume, but where do you fit in?
So what happened? So I've connected him with a few people. Kevin Jessup is a spiritual advisor of ours down in Florida, and he's helped Jason get to a better place. There is a happy ending to this story, not yours.
Relax, Paul.
And on Easter Sunday, folks think that, well, I guess many folks think that holidays are great times, and they are. They're times to celebrate with your family, with your friends. A lot of veterans have a difficult time on holidays. And this particular holiday, Easter Sunday, my family, we were out at my father's country club just because we're all getting old and nobody wants to cook anymore. So we let the folks at the club cook.
Right.
And we all dress up, we get to go eat, and then we all get to go home. My phone rings at about 2:45 in the afternoon. I'm in a suit. I like to look nice when I can. I clean up sort of okay. And my phone rings. My wife Nanette, who could be here tonight, just looks at me, and she knows I have to answer the phone. I knew it was Jason, so I answer the phone, and he's hyperventilating. So I have this 29-year-old man who's been through 5 combat tours, hyperventilating on his phone Easter Sunday. So he's laying on his kitchen floor, hyperventilating. So I do what any other good colonel would do, and I lay down on the floor next to in another room. I went to another room and laid down on the floor. Okay. And I started breathing with him and talking to him and trying to disrupt his breathing pattern. So I asked him to tell me a joke. He goes, "What the fuck did you say?" I said, I got you. I got you thinking. I said, "Tell me a joke." And he couldn't believe I was going down that trail, but we got his breathing under control. We started talking about it a little bit more, and we brought him down to a happier place. Did we save his potential suicide that day? Maybe
Possibly,
not.
Yeah.
But very possibly. A week later, I was supposed to meet him because when I counsel folks that are in other states or faraway lands, I either do a Facebook Live or I do a FaceTime. I FaceTime or I do something like or a Skype. So I know how he looks. I can read their expressions a little bit. And I was going to go meet him, and he didn't show up. I was down in Florida vacationing for a few days, and he didn't show up. So I called him, texted him, called him, nothing. 2 weeks. I now think I've lost him. I think I've lost him. I'm going crazy. I don't have his girlfriend's phone number. They've been on again, off again. So finally, after 2 weeks go by, and I'm angry. I'm angry at myself because I didn't have a backup plan. I didn't have another phone number for him. And I was angry at him for possibly doing something stupid. What had happened was he was called in by the African government because one of their daughters was kidnapped by Procol Harum.
Oh, wow.
And they flew him out to Africa, and he went and found this 13-year-old girl and returned her to her parents.
Oh, wow.
That's awesome.
Did you say she was kidnapped by Procol Harum?
Yeah. How else you gonna get people listening to music?
Procol Harum.
How else you gonna get people listening?
So, so the moral of the story is, here is this great American hero, and why can't I find him a job?
Right.
I'm going to tell you why. 80% of corporate America are afraid of us.
Right.
They're afraid of us.
You know, a flashback or something and do something crazy.
No one's going to publish this, not unless your boss is a veteran or understands who we are, what we bring to the table. We bring some very, if you look at our lowest ranking NCO, our lowest ranking soldier, a private in the Army or the Marine Corps probably, they're a sniper or they're an infantryman. These young men and women have to know how to navigate, read maps, know GPS, know how to communicate, know how to transmit coordinates to another firing system, know how to talk to an Apache or a Black Hawk. These are very smart young men and women. So we are turning them back out into the civilian population, highly skilled. The differences are our soldiers, and when I say soldiers, I mean everybody. I love all of our servicemen.
Except the Navy, they lost.
Well, Army did beat Navy 2 weeks ago. So it is called a streak now because it's 2 in a row. So all you freaking squids out there, go suck an egg because I tell you what, we did one, and we brought the Commander Chiefs Trophy back to West Point, which is where it belongs for now. So we're turning these young men and women out into society, and they're motivated. When you're in the service, you're always working toward your next promotion. You're always working toward your next gate. You're always working towards something else. And that's the advantage we have over a lot of other companies as we encourage our folks to be promoted. Some don't want to be promoted and they get lost in the shuffle. But so we're always constantly looking. We find that when a lot of our vets get into a civilian role, they want to grow. So, hey, boss, either you do your job so you can grow, or I'll do your job for you and you can grow out of it so I can get promoted in your job. It intimidates a lot of people.
Right.
And again, watching all these shows on TV. Every Navy SEAL wants to be famous now, so they're all making movies. But they portray us in a different light. These are young men and women that are highly skilled, highly dedicated, highly motivated, and we need to give them a chance. And we don't need to give them a gift we don't need to give them a present or a stay. We need to give them a job, a meaningful job, and you'll see the suicide rates in our community stop. 22 a day. 22 suicides a day.
That's
in our
22
veteran
too
community.
That is very sad.
In our
22 too many. Yeah.
That's nearly as many people in this room.
I was with Secretary Shulkin a few weeks ago at a conference in New York City, and I told him, I said, Mr. Secretary, we're not doing enough because we hear 22 suicides a day, and we accept that. We're
Yeah.
just casual. Say, oh, 22 suicides a day. Oh, well, in the hour that we're on this show,
Yeah, thanks.
another veteran's going to die. Every
Wow.
65 minutes, a veteran takes their life. And it's, I wasn't going to go down this trail today, but I did. I lost a nephew
Oh,
3 weeks
sorry
ago.
about that.
A couple of days before Thanksgiving, and he had an addiction problem, and there might have been some alcohol involved, and there was also an attempt on his own life. And how it ended is a story for another day. But when it hits you at home, you know, some days I wake up and I don't want to be awake. I don't want to take the next step. I don't want to go out and face the world again. It's getting harder as I get older. But then I think of my nephew and I think of how important it is to do the work that we do. If we save one more veteran today, if we save one veteran who's listening tonight, if we have one person, check our website out, vetrest.org, and look at us and email or get online and register. The emails come to me. They come right to me, and I will respond to you if you're a veteran in need. And we'll help. And with networks that everyone here in this room has, networks that we have all over the country, we are able to offer up platforms to help these men and women because they just need a start. And I tell you, you get no better employees than someone who served overseas. I know if I'm in a bad spot, I want a combat vet standing behind me.
Right.
If you want a combat vet in front of me, but you know,
Yeah.
I'll take one behind me now.
Robert, if with your permission, I'd like to dedicate tonight's show to the memory of your nephew,
Thank you, JT
JT Vici. And you were talking before about presence, and unfortunately, my circumstances personally don't allow me to help vet rest like I really would. So I was afforded something that may seem meaningless to somebody, but maybe at an auction it could raise money. And if that money helps one veteran, then I did my job. I was out at a concert a few months ago, and the band Warrant gave me a signed guitar. So I'm going to donate it to Vet Rest, and maybe you can auction it off. And even if it brings in a couple of $100, you know, that's on behalf of us here at the radio show.
Wow.
I feel like at $5 for that.
Yeah. $22.50 retail.
Wait, just say who was it? Warren?
Warren.
All right, 380. I'll give you 260.
But
240.
Here we go.
so now we have a
Wow.
special guest tonight, and you've known him very well. He's was in a band called the Spin Doctors. You may have heard them, but they're a phenomenal band. And is Anthony out there? Did you want to come in?
Here's Anthony.
Oh, Anthony. I couldn't see you behind Christine's hat. Yes, absolutely. Anthony, have a seat. Come on in. It's an honor to have you on.
Can I introduce him?
Sure, go ahead.
Absolutely,
Just a little bit more?
absolutely.
I've been blessed with meeting Anthony Kryzant. He is a consummate professional. He is dedicated. He is beyond one of the greatest guitar players I've ever heard, and he is totally committed to his craft, to perfection, and to helping Christine and Cheryl and helping Vet Rest with everything he does. The guy is just genius. He doesn't ever stop working. I don't think he sleeps.
He's not moving too much right now.
He's a vampire.
I
You
think,
want me to wake him up?
but I just have to tell you, it's an honor to know him and to be able to meet with him and talk and have an occasional cocktail every now and then, because this man is a real professional and he works so hard at writing, and nothing leaves his studio without it being perfect. So hopefully we'll be able to play a little bit of Home Don't Feel Like Home tonight.
Cool.
And you'll
yeah,
see and you'll
definitely.
feel the magic. So here he is, Anthony Kryzant, everybody.
They said you're a consummate professional. I have consummate soup once.
I had constipation this morning.
Oh my God.
That's why I'm wearing a diaper.
Anthony, we didn't get a chance to meet you the last time, but it's an honor to meet you right now. Thank you.
I missed the last one.
No, I mean it's I've admired your work, especially now since I'm friends with Christine and the stuff that you did previously, and it's just amazing. And While we have you here, just a real quick, let's get a. How did you get involved in the whole? How did Anthony Kreisand become a musician? What was it? How did it start for you?
My father used to play Johnny Cash and different stuff on guitar when I was a little kid.
Right.
My brother played guitar, and I started playing drums when I was about 8. And I've been doing gigs since I was 11 years old.
Oh wow!
Like playing drums first with my brother and a cousin.
And then you'd rather do the guitar?
And I just like kind of naturally wanted to play guitar to write songs and just pick up what my big brother was doing. I started playing guitar and writing songs around 14.
He's got a musician's voice, hasn't he?
So was Johnny Cash was one of your influences growing up?
Not really, but my father just played like, you know, Bully Bully and, you know, like Johnny Cash songs, Merle Haggard.
Right.
It's just kind of like we watched him play guitar and we kind of, then my brother got a guitar and then I got a set of drums.
Look, Ruben does work here.
Yeah, wow. That's the most work he's done in a year.
Yeah, but not on the insulation.
I produce records for a living. I should know about talking into the mic. I'm sorry.
That's strike one. No
See, that's so consummate.
So who were your influences?
I always loved Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah.
Oh, the
Good
reggae
reggae
singer.
Yeah, the
singer.
Rolling Stones.
You're even my old favorite guys.
Kind of my brother too, and my father, I guess, in a way.
Oh, wow.
My mother, in a way, she turned me on to soul music. And
Nice.
I kind of,
Very
I
nice.
think, like, I got turned on to soul. I was brought up in a black neighborhood where
Oh,
we're the only
cool.
white family until I was 10. So I was just, it was a different culture.
Motown,
Right.
everything.
It was great. I mean,
Yeah.
So he's
Yeah, you're the best of
I
both.
learned
He's
a lot
related to
about-
Dave.
No,
Dave's
he-
17%
Hey,
black.
he played guitar. Played guitar. He got beat up a lot.
Yeah, I learned how to hold my own. But
Ed holds his own.
So my mother turned me on.
Someone's
to
gonna
soul,
hold it.
My father turned me on to country, and my brother turned me on to rock. So
Yeah.
I think to this day I have all that stuff's in my veins.
Once you go rock, you never go back.
So I got my new record, Dust and Bone, has got elements of, you know, soul, rock, country, and blues.
Wow.
You know,
Of everything, yeah.
if you listen to like Billy Preston, like, and
Oh, I
that
love
stuff,
Billy
it's
Preston.
got-
We're gonna go round in circles.
Yeah, exactly. You know that stuff, or like even Jerry Reed, like, you know, what's that song? Amos Moses. You know,
Right,
right,
It's like chicken picking funk soul. I mean, some of that stuff comes out in my songs.
That's
And I
awesome.
love that because it touches on a lot of people, like people that might like country.
Right.
My stuff doesn't sound like country radio, but it's got some of that in it, and it's got some soul in it, and it's got the blues
Right.
and modern stuff.
That's
too.
awesome.
And that's all the influence of my parents.
That's
Oh, wow.
fantastic.
But
And
I
what's the
also
name of
got,
the record?
Dust and Bone is the title track.
Dustin. But where can people find that if they want to pick it up?
I think it's on iTunes, SoundCloud. It's out in Japan on a blues label. And
So if you're in Japan,
I'll go get the car.
Hold on. Ed burned a lot of bridges.
Did we
today with
lose the
Jets.
Jets? No, we lost the Chinese.
we lost the Japanese. We lost the Japanese.
We're good with the Japs.
But another
She's
good,
got some.
another good thing that happened to me is I met a guy named Frankie LaRocca who was like a really good friend of mine. Died about 12 years ago. He produced the Spin Doctors and signed Mr. Big and a bunch of people. But we hit it off, and he turned me on that. He met Noel Redding at the awards, and I started doing gigs with Noel Redding, Hendrix's bass player.
That's so
Oh,
cool.
wow.
For about
Very
10
nice.
years, and you know, Noel died broke, and nobody knows. You think, oh, he played with Jimi Hendrix, he must be loaded. They signed a
Right.
bad publishing deal, and
Especially back
Yeah,
then. Back
yeah.
then.
Did
they used
all
to
back then?
give him like cash and pills, and they fucking get a few
wow.
$100. And
Wow.
Nowadays,
then-
that's where the
and then-
money is.
and
The
they'd sign their
publishing.
publishing, but later on, who the hell knew Hendrix was going to be selling? Like they remaster these records, Eddie Kramer, they all remastered these records. And when people were buying records, they sold 10, 20, 30,000 around the holidays. And
He's
Right.
making
Now,
more
30
money
million.
now that he's dead.
And
than
Noel
when
and
he
those
was
guys,
alive.
Noel had songs on those records. They didn't make anything. He died broke. So we were
That's right.
we were like putting up, you know, we were doing shows, and Noel would come over from Ireland, and I'd bring the drums, bass, and he'd play my bass all the time. And we'd give him most of the money. And but that was an honor to me to play with the guy that played with Jimi
Sure,
Hendrix.
definitely.
And,
Oh,
he
that's
loved my
amazing.
playing, and it was like an honor, and just it was a really good 10 years.
Yeah. I loved Hendrix, man. Imagine what Hendrix would have done if he didn't die so
I
young.
know, that's what I say.
yeah, how
You
far
look
he
at guys
could've
like
gone.
Santana who's still doing it.
More
But
drugs,
Hendrix was like one of those guys that like broke the mold for
Everybody looked up to him.
innovation. You know, nobody played like
Other
that.
musicians goes to look at him, just have the mouth hanging open. I
Yeah.
couldn't believe it.
Now, the last time I read, Hendrix's estate still makes $9 million a year.
And
So
they make
he's-
more now
he's-
than
he's been dead longer than I've been alive, and he
Yeah.
makes more than me.
I'd be
Right.
surprised if that's all.
Deserves it more.
That's
I know
all.
that.
But now people- but when people were buying records and they kept remastering these records, I mean, they made so much money. I mean,
Sure.
it's $9 million a year. Everybody took the hit on record
Yeah.
sales.
And if you go back in time to look at people like Little Richard, people like that, they got really ripped off.
Yeah,
They didn't get
yeah.
nothing.
You know what?
Yeah.
Paul, I got a quick question for you. You know who the highest paid dead person is today?
No.
Believe it
Oh,
or not?
Elvis.
No.
Just
No, it is not.
Who?
It's Charles Schultz.
Oh, from the
He makes
cartoons.
about $32 million a year.
The cartoons.
Wow. His
That's
estate
it?
makes
Oh,
about
wow.
32, 35 million a year.
Wow. And I can't afford bread. Fantastic.
It doesn't look like you're starving.
Hey,
So Anthony,
Yeah, really.
You
in
should
your,
learn how to draw.
in your opinion, Anthony, top 3 greatest guitarists ever.
That's hard.
That's a hard one.
Too many different styles.
I mean, Jimi Hendrix. I mean, it all comes down to style. After
Exactly.
Like, because guys are there's technical guys that like Joe Satriani and
Oh, I
Joey
love Joe
Bonamassa,
Sat-
but then there's guys that got soul like Stevie Ray and
Yeah,
B.B. King can do it all with a few notes, you know.
You have to break it down to styles.
But,
You
but
can't.
I gotta say, it's probably like Hendrix. Jeff Beck is still.
Jeff
like,
Beck, definitely.
Jeff Beck
Jeff
is like
Beck.
from another planet.
Yeah,
So
Jeff
I
Beck's
like-
incredible.
See, I like guys.
And
that
yourself.
Soul, yeah, I mean, I don't know.
I'm
I'm
you're
just
gonna think I'm
I'm a
crazy.
sloppy rock and roll player, but I do practice a lot and try and
Yeah.
try and say something different. But all the influences come out. You know, when you
Yeah.
get older, you kind of it all becomes your own thing.
I
You know
agree
what
with
I heard
all-
the other day for the first time in a long time? Riviera Paradise. I haven't heard that in
That's a
such a
great
long time.
song.
It's a great freaking song.
I agree with all the people you just named, but I'm a child of the '80s, and I'm a big Randy Rhoads guy.
Randy Rhoads was another one. I mean, that's
Jimmy
like,
Page by Jimmy Page.
Yeah, Jimmy Page, like Van Halen too, and Randy
Yeah.
Rhoads. I mean, Randy Rhoads is another guy. He died so young. Who the hell he
Right.
became? You know.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, he had his own thing. I mean,
You know what I was surprised
Even
to hear?
Prince.
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 Too.
I
mean,
love
there's a
Prince.
lot
I was
of
gonna
good-
say
Very
that.
underrated. Very underrated.
I was just going to say that it's funny that you mentioned that. Somebody went up to Eric Clapton and said, "How does it feel to be the world's greatest guitarist?" He goes, "I don't know. Ask Prince."
Yeah. I know. See, Clapton, like if you study blues and stuff, and like Stevie Ray copped Albert King. You know,
Right.
if you listen to Albert King, you're like, God damn, it sounds like Stevie Ray totally. And Eric Clapton copped Freddie King. Is another black.
Right.
Freddie King did Going Down and all that stuff.
But you're right, though. You have to break it down to styles. You have to
Yeah,
break
but
it
they
down to
all
styles.
kind of copped from that, and then they made it their own, and it all comes out on how good your songs are, what you've done. You know?
Right.
Jimmy Page is another one that those records. I mean, the
Yeah.
Zeppelin records are.
They don't make
Yeah.
guitarists like that anymore.
Yeah.
It's very hard to find. And listen, not to knock the new generation, but it just.
Well, we're
It's
gonna.
not the same. You know.
No, you're right. I mean, but you wonder, like, cause like when I got signed to publishing deals out of high school, and I had record deals on Chrysalis and Polygram, but now it's like the big
Yeah.
machine has gotten so small. There's only a few labels. And
Right.
What is that
So
feeling
and
like?
it all comes down to like not how good you are, almost it's like what do you do with social media if you don't have a record deal? Because you might have 10, it might take less talent of musicianship and more talent of what you do on social media
Yeah,
to
you
get
market
yourself out there
More computer
to
talent.
do something to get on YouTube and all that stuff. And
Right.
that's good and it's bad, you know. 'cause
Well,
some
they-
people
what
are just aren't that much.
What they're doing is they're just putting bands together. It's like these ready-made bands, and they're just putting stuff to put out. These guys, years ago, they sat in the studios, and it came from somewhere. It was a passion today, and the YouTube, that's not, because you guys didn't have social media back then, and you were selling out arenas. So that, to me, is a bigger testament to say, hey, people realize that this is real talent. Like Foreigner, in 1982, there was no social media. They were playing to 80,000 people.
Yeah.
You know, so.
And now, yeah, people aren't like even the biggest records don't sell what they used to sell. I mean,
And there's no such thing as a
you have to
traditional
play
record
live.
label
You have to play
anymore.
live to make money if you're an artist.
Yeah,
You know?
that's
And
true.
you'll sell records from the stage, but not that much.
And there's less venues now,
Yeah.
too.
Like when the Spin Doctors did the Letterman show, and we did Letterman a few times, and Jay Leno and all that, bands used to sell 200,000
Right.
that week of a
Right.
release. You know?
Right.
It's just
So
from that.
and maybe more. You know, if you had a huge single and you're getting airplay, you'd sell $200,000, 200,000 records from doing a
Right.
TV show.
Right.
But now it's like if you do the show, it's good for you, but you're not. You may sell the
Right.
single.
It's
on
like a
iTunes.
quick hit. It doesn't
You might
last.
sell like 50,000 singles on, but nobody's going to go out and buy the record. There's no record stores.
Right.
Right.
That's
Exactly
they
right.
just there was just a article with Stevie Nicks. They want Fleetwood Mac wants to make another album, and she said, "I'm not doing it because no one's going to buy it.
Yeah,
We
that's
can't
true.
sell it. No one will buy it."
Right. Everybody gets everything for free.
Yeah.
All it takes is one person to email you a file of an LP,
Yeah.
and then everybody has it.
Who's that
So
person?
I think,
Who's that
I think
person?
as an artist, when
Write
you're a
that down.
songwriter, a guy like me, and I like working with young talent, so it's nice to finish a full record, you know, if you
Right.
want to make, because I mean, I don't know, I feel like I'm like, it took me a while to finish my record at my age and stuff, because I've been a side man and I do all this stuff to pay the bills. I got 3 kids, but it took
That
a while.
we know of.
It took, yeah, you're right.
What happens on the
I
tour
might-
bus stays on the tour
Yeah, there
bus.
might be a few in South
Oh,
America
my
from the
God.
Stones tour. You know? Yeah, we opened for the Rolling Stones.
What do you
Oh,
think
that's
of
one my highlights.
what do you think of more heavy and recent people like Slash?
Slash is great. I mean, he's
Oh,
out
Slash
there.
is an engineer.
I mean,
Yeah.
he's a great guitar player, and he wrote some great stuff. I mean, and those records are like iconic records, man.
But then
He's still making great records.
yeah, Slash has been around since before all of that. So
Right.
I'm trying. Let's see if we can come up with a new Slash now. It's
Yeah,
really
Good
it
luck.
might be hard pressed to
It'd be hard
find
for us to
somebody.
do that. I mean, just that hair alone.
And
It's
there's
a lot more
somebody-
mechanical type stuff now. It's more
Listen,
mechanical.
like I said, I'm not. There are some great bands out there, but they just, to me, that the chemistry isn't
You mean
there.
like New Kids on the Block?
No, like that. I don't know, these other like
98 Degrees.
not even like these Bruno Mars type thing. I just I'm not on that bandwagon. I'm at 70s and 80s. That was music.
Well,
Bruno Mars wasn't even alive.
He's really talented.
I like
You know,
him.
you guys say that part of it might be like, who knows if like the way labels used to, when there was A&R guys that had passion like Frankie the Rocket, that would go out there and find a band and develop it and get it out there. So there may be bands playing out there that are amazing that may never get the shot because there's not labels out
Well,
there.
there's no
anymore. So
such thing as a
there's that
traditional
side of it.
label anymore. It's
But there's also, you know, the thing is, like, I produce bands. I get kids to come in and they're like, oh man, just fly my guitar part around because you can do it in the computer. They become like lazy because of the modern technology.
right.
And it's like, man, how the fuck are you gonna play this live if you want me to? Do you want to loop your guitar?
Yeah, yeah.
Give me your guitar and I play.
Yeah, it's like keyboard players that
Like,
sequence
yeah,
instead of
I'll
playing.
play their parts. I'm like, man, I could play this. If you guys want to play live and sound as good as your record, then goddamn play the part. Why do you want to fly it around?
Right. It's like keyboard players, like
Yeah.
Anthony. It's like keyboard players in sequence.
Yeah, so
play
they
it.
just go with the convenience of technology.
Right.
And where we used to you have to punch in, we cut on tape and you do it. And we used to have to put the needle on the record to learn stuff. Now you can go to YouTube to learn it
Right.
and cheat, but sometimes sitting there for 2 hours, you learn other stuff, you know.
Let me
by the
ask
time
you a
you get it
question,
right.
Anthony. I'm gonna, and I ask this of all the musicians. What would you rather have? Sell 8 million records or have 8 million hits on a YouTube?
That's easy.
8 million records.
Right, you know what? You'd be surprised at some of the answers we get.
Yeah.
Well, and the other answer would be stupid.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't want money. I just want to be on YouTube.
But
There's a lot of them on YouTube.
I know.
If the 8 million people go to the
my
website, you never know. Something
Well,
goes
people
viral.
become YouTube sensations.
If it goes viral, you're not
Yeah.
you're not gonna make that much.
I mean, we have to embrace what's happening now and deal with the technology as like this.
It's
is
a
what's
double-edged
happening now. So
sword,
you
I
got to
think.
do
It's
it.
good
you know,
and
it's
bad.
good because people get to see what you're doing, and if you're out there, and I think playing live is the best thing you can do if you want. Like I love
Absolutely.
playing live, but I also like writing songs and getting the song done.
I like recording too. I
Like
love
listening
recording.
to the song done. I mean, once you finish a song, it's like somebody gets done with the picture by the time you're done with it.
Right.
If you give a shit about it and you get it right.
Yeah.
And,
Well, what is your process when you just say to yourself, "Hey, listen, I want to go in the studio and I want to write something." Do you have a process, or is it just whenever it hits you?
every morning I come up with a few song ideas. So I got my iPhone's probably got about 1,000. Like every morning I got a few ideas, and then it's just a matter of how much time I have between trying to make enough to pay the bills and what songs I want to focus on to finish. You know?
Right.
But I mean, it's all like the creative process is really a good part.
And don't you find, Anthony, like I feel the same thing when I'm writing. The best stuff is the stuff that flies out of you.
Yeah, yeah.
It comes out of nowhere. So where the hell did that come from?
Yeah, I mean,
Without
diarrhea.
thinking
Yeah,
about
yeah.
But you don't actually think about it.
I'll
Just,
say
It comes through you. It's
You
like
write
you're-
songs too. That's
You
Oh,
could
yeah,
be
but there's
driving
a
and then
lot.
all of a sudden, boom.
well, he
But it comes
started
through
out in music.
But there's
and
songs
then-
that take a long time to finish too, though. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but those are the ones that aren't as good as the ones that came out of you real quick.
Yeah, the good ones, or the ones you work on, the low stick in your head, even if you get other.
Right.
And I'm speaking when you said that you get ideas. I woke up last night. I went to sleep and I was excited about today, and I was thinking about Christine's single, and we had a couple of celebrities record holiday messages, and one of the celebrities said, everybody says thank you, but thanks is not enough. So Cheryl, that's a new song about, not that the military is not thankful, but we as a nation, thank you to our military is not enough. So there's another song for it. Thanks is not enough. So get working on it.
You're not gonna try to get credit for that, are you?
No, I don't want nothing. Anthony, you're gonna do a song for us?
Yeah, we're gonna do our song "Home." Like another thing about this song, it's like me and Cheryl. Like Cheryl's a great friend, and this song, we won an ASCAP award for this song. It was a big deal. Like when she told me we won this ASCAP award, let's go to New York. I'm like, all right. I didn't realize it was a big deal. We were in like Desmond Child was there, and like
Oh, wow.
I think Nao, the rapper Nao, and all these people got awards. But one of the coolest things to me was Paul Williams came out and gave
Oh,
us
wow.
the award. And I'm like,
cool.
and
He's still alive?
yeah, I mean,
No, they rolled them out. They rolled them out.
I'm like, wow, this is a bigger deal. But you know, it's the biggest deal to me is Paul Williams was in the Planet of the Apes.
Right.
Oh,
The
yeah,
Planet,
yeah.
he was-
Dr. Cyrus or whatever.
He
it
was in the Planet of the Apes, and I was
yeah.
like, holy shit, he was in the, like that was such a big movie for me as a kid.
He was on the Odd Couple,
Sci-fi
too.
stuff.
Well, I'm behind the times because we thought Rick Wakeman was dead too. So
Well, he did die in another timeline.
That's the
But I mean,
Mandela
imagine that,
effect.
like, you know, if you like the Planet of the Apes and Paul Williams comes out and he's the head of ASCAP, and man, that's a big deal. I'm like,
oh, absolutely.
but honestly, I think this song is like I think this song is going to touch a lot of people. And the recorded version, we have a 13-piece string section. And we're going to do a version today, but the record, we spent a lot of time, and I got the best guys in Nashville to do a string section on it.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
So
Very
we should,
nice.
if we could play the version on the radio, it'd be cool too, you know.
Oh,
So
absolutely.
we're going to do
I
it
love
live, but I think this song will touch a lot of people.
And the
all the
title
proceeds,
is
all the proceeds for Home Don't Feel Like Home are
Home
going to
Don't
go
Feel
to
Like
Vet
Home.
Rest.
And Gene's gonna put it on the rotation, and he's gonna make a copy, which will take about 2 days.
I think that
The universe is gonna help.
you know how music is like Beach is like from the heart's been through a lot of stuff. He's a Black Ops pilot. He's done. I mean, he's got stories from being in the war. I mean, but this song will move people in a different way, where you know
Right.
music can touch people. You know,
Music
And
is
I
universal.
think we all need to get behind this song
And not in a Me Too
and
kind
get
of
the
way.
song out there.
and
Just because the money's going to go to the Vet Rest, and I think this is one of those songs that we latch on and everybody kind of jumps in.
I think everybody
In
needs
6 months to a year, this song could do a lot and save a lot of lives and get a lot of money into the cause that we're trying to help people out with. You know?
Well, Christine, when I had told her my idea for the holiday show, she had said, what happened?
We're now bringing traffic and weather.
Oh,
I'd also like to
Did
say that
somebody help her out and give her Papa Pizza?
I'd like to say that Christine sang her ass off on this tune because I tried to sing a version and I can't do a rock version
She
after
sent me
hearing
the
yours.
before- I
She
think we're-
sings her ass off. Christine Martucci.
Yeah, she sent me a copy of it before it was, and I said, you don't even have to touch it.
Yeah.
But Christine, you want to come up and I want to talk to you?
Yeah.
Right, Anthony, but we're looking
Thank
forward
you
to
so
it.
much. I appreciate you. It's nice to be here. This is such a cool scene. We did Howard Stern show a few times, and we were on Howard Stern show. The Spin Doctors played his birthday party twice.
Oh,
cool.
wow.
We were on the show a bunch of times, and
Oh,
this
wow.
reminds me of Howard Stern in a way.
Oh,
Because there's a bunch of guys with a lot of personality here.
Course
It's not
we're-
like it's not
course
like
we're highly
You
inappropriate.
guys are great. It's really cool. I'm
Thank
glad I
you.
came tonight.
Wait a
Thank
minute,
you.
Stone Pony Friday night?
I'll be at the Stone Pony Friday night.
Cool. Asbury Park, 07712. Unfortunately, we can't draw Howard Stern's checks, but
Yeah, right? I would just like to have the interest on everybody that he makes.
Reminds me of Howard Stern. Oh, your nose isn't that big.
But sitting in the hot seat, the next one in the hot seat.
Let me look official.
Yeah.
Carlo, I just wanted to say one thing. You talk about 8 million YouTube views. That only makes you about $8,000, and 8 million views on Spotify make you about $10,000.
Oh, I know.
the money's in record sales.
Yeah,
if you can do it.
so it's not, you know.
The money's in the merch.
I agree with you, but it's amazing.
It's true, it's
what
the merch.
people
It's the
will,
merch.
you know.
It's
Or the publisher.
T-shirt.
Money's in the publisher if you own the
Somebody help
publisher.
Jill?
And if you
Oh,
if you write the song, the money's in the songwriter.
Yeah, you have to own the publisher.
Exactly.
So with us now is Christine Martucci.
Yeah.
She was on the
Hi.
show earlier. This girl has a voice like no other. She has-
Voice like the weather.
Like
No,
the
other.
weather.
Yes.
Oh.
the
Like the
weather.
Little weather.
Yeah,
It's
stormy.
the sunshiny day. No.
Little. Aw.
But she was here on the show earlier in the year, and if you were listening to the beginning of the show, that was her singing out Jersey style, and then she takes that song and kicks its ass. Let me tell you. And everybody that I play that song for, they say that is amazing. It just hits you.
Later on, she's gonna kick my ass.
That's right.
She just kicked my ass
He's
outside.
crying.
That's because she
So,
can.
okay, well, I have to say something. I have to do a shout out to Ironworks Fitness because I'm actually training to be a professional bodybuilder, a fitness,
Wow.
fitness.
Yeah, so mine.
So Ironworks Fitness, I love you guys. I actually was supposed to work out tonight, but I'm here. So
Oh, well, we
Oh, so you're
thank
blaming
you.
us?
yes, there's pasta and all this wine. Are you guys killing me?
This is all my fault.
Wait till you wake up tomorrow with the guilt. You ain't seen nothing yet.
I'm Italian and Irish. I don't know whether to drink or feel guilty about it.
You'll do both. You'll do both.
I
You're next
will.
to Shay. You're just gonna get drunk just sitting next to Shay.
Yeah. I have 2% blood in my alcohol.
I love it.
He's Irish and Italian. He gets drunk and beats himself up.
What you talking about?
So, Christina, you excited about the new system?
I'm really excited about it. I have to tell you, the first time Anthony and Cheryl DeVega sent it to me, I was like, oh my God, this song is amazing. So I kept singing it, and rehearsing it. So we went in the studio, and it was, I have a day job. So I went in the studio, and I was like, all right, I'm going to kill this song. And I do I know I'm exaggerating, but I do 30 takes of the song, and I just couldn't get it right. And we went back and did playback, and I'm like, maybe it's the wrong key. So we just brought it up,
So transposed it?
a half step, and then all of a sudden, the universe spoke to us.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Where's Gene?
I'm right here.
Yeah, right. Gene, you heard
The
that?
universe is speaking to her too.
It's
Gene.
about the universe, buddy. I gotta bring it up a half step.
And then I said, I have to go home and rest because I really, really, really want to sing this song with my heart and my soul, and I'm
Right.
exhausted. I'm
Right.
tired.
Right.
I went home and rest. I came back on Saturday, and we nailed it.
Wow.
Half a step made that difference. That's amazing. Half a step.
I'm looking
And-
forward to hearing it.
You know, I have to say, like, I was in the military for 10 years. I just got done doing a very intense interview with Shelley Sonstein on 10.
Oh, I love Shelley, yeah.
On
I was actually
iHeart.
her intern
That's so cool.
at the radio station.
He was
Yeah.
sexually molested.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Well, actually, we were talking
that was-
about
that was by
sexual
Jim Kerr.
molestation in the military, and I told about my story. And I am a Me Too, but in the military, in the military, women soldiers were afraid to say what's happening to us.
Right.
So anyway, we did it. I was brave enough to do it. It was a rough day, but I made it through, and then here I am today talking to you guys.
Instead of being that ironworks.
And you're you're a superstar.
Thank God.
You're a superstar, bro, both personally and professionally.
Thank you.
What a kiss ass.
Really?
And then
Oh, you're off
Hashtag
next
him
week.
too.
Write that down.
Oh, wait, we're all off.
Am I the only one that noticed Paul comparing his musical dick jokes to her skills?
I have no idea what you said.
You no talent asshole.
I don't understand you. I don't understand.
You know the English.
I don't learn the language.
Yeah. He needs subtitles.
How long did it take?
He's been there 23 years. He still can't speak English.
Christine, once Cheryl wrote the lyrics, how long did it take to actually come together as far as getting it right with, like when you brought it up a half step?
Well, it took it because you know what, I'm a perfectionist, and when a songwriter presents me a song, and it's not very frequent.
Right.
I write my own songs, so this is very out of the box for me.
Right.
So I'm like, oh my gosh, this song, they want me to sing this just like this key. So I'm trying because I have to be like perfect. It's a Virgo thing, I guess. I don't know.
All right, fellow Virgo.
There you go. See? And so,
Very anal.
and
She
then
said Virgo, not Virgin, Carla.
And
Who's
I'm-
doing anal?
I'm
Certainly not you.
listen.
Receiving, maybe.
Oh my
OMG.
As long as it's getting done.
You're You're stepping all over her moment here. Come on.
It's okay. As long no, I just totally forgot it. But okay.
We were
So-
talking about anal.
Yeah. As long as it's done right, it's done well.
Right.
Still anal, right?
So no.
Talking about anal, right?
So
I lost track of the conversation.
I'm an Army sergeant through and through, and you know what? You present me with a task, I'm gonna get it done.
Right.
Even if it's the wrong key, I did the best I could, but I knew that I was defeated. So I went into the control booth and I said, guys, maybe we should just bring it up a half step. Now, Anthony brought in live violins,
Right.
so we didn't know if that was going to be a
wow,
difficult
yeah.
thing.
Right.
But it worked out perfect. But the best part of this is when I went to iHeartRadio and I said what happened to me in the military was so hard for me to say that.
Right.
And I was there with Cheryl, and before we did it, Cheryl and I and Tom had breakfast together, and she told me how Home Don't Feel Like Home came together. And it wasn't supposed to be about a military guy. It was supposed to be about a homeless guy.
Oh, okay.
Brother,
Right.
can you spare some change?
But you saw it a different way. It affected you a
No.
different way.
Cheryl saw it a different way.
Oh,
It
okay.
was the
Divine
alcohol.
intervention.
The alcohol.
So Cheryl, you fucked up. Is that what you're saying?
No.
It was that third glass of wine, and then it came to her.
Actually, I'm not going to talk. I really, if you have time, I would love for you guys to talk to Cheryl how this
Absolutely,
song
We will.
came.
We're talking to everybody tonight. We're not leaving until 5 o'clock.
Yeah. We will
I
definitely
love
talk.
you guys.
It's a
But I'm
marathon.
excited.
Yeah.
Why don't you go have something to eat, relax, and then I'm excited to hear you belt out this song.
We'll play it
Oh,
later.
well,
We'll do it later.
I can't eat because I'm in training, but I'll have some wine. And I'm
Okay.
good.
Oh, that's good training. That's good training.
Yeah.
But like really quick.
I can't eat, but I can drink.
Do we have any kettlebells back there?
Listen, I'm in training. I can't eat, but I'm gonna smoke a bong. But I'm in training. I'm in training.
Cowbell.
Compromise. Compromise, baby.
All right, guys, we're going to take a short break. We're going
Thank
to
you.
be
Love you
back
guys.
with Domini Monroe. Don't go nowhere. This is the Animal House Radio Show.
We're in training.
She said, "I'll pray for her."
Who's Ruben?
He's a sandwich.
All right, we're back here on the Animal House Radio Show.
Yeah, baby!
We're at the packed house here. We got a bunch of celebrities. We have so much talent in this room, I can't begin to start.
Only 8 more hours.
Yeah, right? It's like one of Paul Veneer's shows. We're halfway there.
It's like the show that never ends. Like the song.
Jerry Lewis telethon. Hey, lady!
Only this is funny.
One of the things I did was I got a bunch of celebrities that have been on our show over the year, and they sent out a special message to all our troops overseas. So the first one is by a great comedian and a good friend of mine. His name is Billy Engvall. You may remember him from the Blue Collar Comedy Tour. So let me play that for you right now.
Our first celebrity of the evening is a man who is a phenomenal comedian, and he's one of the greatest people to ever hold a microphone that wasn't wearing a wire for the FBI. Please welcome back on the show, Mr. Bill Engvall.
Hey, buddy, how are you?
I'm doing good, Bill. So I just want to thank you again for doing this. You know, the last time we had you on the show was a tremendous success, and the troops just love you, and I know you love them.
Well, you know what? I want to say and you know, I want them to know this, that, you know, just, I know that everybody says thank you, but you know what? It's almost beyond words. You know, these people, men and women, are away from their families at this time of the year, and I don't think that anybody that acts like they know what it feels like, you're wrong. You know, these people are giving us our freedom to let us do what we want to do, and I know it's been done and overdone, but all I can say is thanks to the men and women of our armed forces, and thank you for what you do, and Merry Christmas to you, and I hope that some wonderful miracle wish comes true, that everybody comes home and everybody's with their families.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it better. And Merry Christmas to you and Gail, Bill. Happy anniversary. And
thank you, buddy. And Merry Christmas to all my buddies there at Animal House. We got to get together and have that beer.
Absolutely. And I promise no more women's jewelry, so you don't have to explain. Merry Christmas. Take care.
Merry Christmas to you, too.
Bye-bye.
Good talking to you, Bill. Oh, that wasn't live?
He wasn't live.
Fooled me again.
It sounded so real, didn't it?
Fooled me again.
Joining us on the hot seat is a dear friend of mine, and he's a very talented guy. He's a comedian, ventriloquist, and he's been in the business.
A musician, too.
Musician, too, yes. Believe me, I know. And he's been in the business for a long time. Please welcome back on the show our dear friend, Mr. Pete Michaels.
Yeah! Thank you. Pizza. Thank you, Carlucci.
Pete, I just wanted to let you know that we don't get a chance to see each other often because we're always either working or doing whatever. But any chance I get to spend time with you, because I knew right when I met you years ago that what you see is what you got, and you were always straight up with me, and that's what I always admired. Besides your talent that I admired, I always admired that aspect.
Oh, shucks. I told you it was a kiss ass. I told you.
Get the mistletoe. Let's get this over with.
But how you been? What have you been? You've been keeping busy, or?
Yeah, trying. You know, this business is it's in and out.
It's fucked up. Yeah.
Well, I didn't want to go that way, but yeah.
Hey, we lost the entertainers.
There you go. Who's left? We lost the bookers. That's the shit show.
We still have the Shriners.
How about the Amish?
Yeah, right. But yeah, with the time you came on with Milo was hysterical.
Yes, he's a doll. Loves you to death. Milo is my transgender puppet.
Right.
Oh yeah, that's. Yeah.
Look how quiet it got.
Pete, it gives you a different meaning to putting your hand up his ass.
Yeah, I'm being sued now for sexual harassment from the past.
Has he met Paul?
Are you gonna make
intimately?
Are you gonna make a Me Too puppet?
No.
Is this Julia Scotti? I'm confused.
I'm gonna make a snowflake puppet. It cries every time it goes on stage.
Pete, let me ask you real quick. What made you like? Was it something as a kid that you admired seeing other ventriloquists?
I was an only child.
He had to make friends.
So you had to make up an imaginary friend?
Well, you know what it is? My parents used to give me board games at Christmas. They were fucked up people.
We lost the parents. All right, we lost the parents.
You know what it's like sitting in front of a mirror playing with yourself and not getting off?
Hey, I'll scared. It's supposed to be a two-way mirror, Ed.
Oh, no.
No, when I was a kid, there were, as Paul can, because we're kind of the same age, there were a lot of puppets everywhere on TV, all over the place.
Chuck McCann.
Oh, yeah.
Senor Wences.
Yeah, Sandy Becker, Chuck McCann, Paul Winchell.
Yeah.
You know, the old Nestle's Quick commercial with Jimmy Nelson.
He was great, Paul Winchell.
And, we became good friends towards the middle to the end of his life. Great, talented man.
Really talented.
So I got influenced with puppets because, there was no other kids in the house to play around with. So my parents bought me puppets. They bought me a little Danny O'Day toy ventriloquist dummy thing. And that's when I started learning ventriloquism at about 5 years old.
How do you do the P and the B sound? That's one thing that's the hardest thing to do.
I'll teach you.
Okay. I'm not sure if I like that. Paul, I'm sticking your hand in my ass. I'll tell you right now.
Then it's off. Forget it now. He said he's going to teach you how to pee. You got it.
I can do that. I got that down.
Let me ask you a question. Is it a very difficult thing to learn?
No. Like anything else, it's like learning guitar for the first time. I learned guitar when I was in my early 40s. Yeah. And it's just like Paul said, you practice. You learn one chord, you learn two chords before you know what you're playing a song.
Right.
Now let me ask you. You do a tribute band to the Love Me Do, right?
Beatles tribute band. Yeah.
But do you have a love for comedy more or the music side?
It all came together.
It all came together.
Yeah.
And now you have your son working.
Yeah. Well, when I saw the Beatles on Sullivan in '64, I was hooked. Right then, that was it.
Oh, was it, right?
That's all we talked about all week in school after they came on the show.
Wow.
That's why I became an entertainer.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I became a drummer. That was my first instrument. I wanted to be Ringo. Every kid who played drums wanted to be Ringo after watching Ringo play.
Right.
And one of the most underrated drummers of ever.
He's a great drummer.
He's a phenomenal drummer.
Yeah. And he's a lefty who plays righty.
Yeah, and he's like a metronome.
It's amazing how many musicians I hear, they talk about how they started with the drums and then went to a guitar.
Well, rhythm guitar for me, because drums is a rhythm instrument and it's easy for me to play rhythm. My son, who's our lead guitar, who does George Harrison, he plays 11 instruments.
He's like a prodigy,
oh,
isn't he?
Christ, yeah. He's applying to colleges now, music colleges.
So he needs tuition money. If you need to hire him, PeteMichaels.com.
1-800-Pete Michaels.
Really?
Plus, if you're a drummer, you have to be in a band. If you play others, you could be a solo act.
Well, I argued with my son about it. I said, drums is not a musical instrument. Yes, it is. I said, Peter, I can sit in the middle of a room, set up a drum kit, play a song and you won't know what I'm playing unless it's Wipeout.
Right. Right.
I said, you pick up a guitar, you start playing, and people know immediately what song you're playing. So that's why I wanted to learn guitar. Especially if it's Wipeout.
Do you have? I mean, after all these years, let me ask you: do you still have fun doing the puppets and interacting with the crowd and tearing people apart?
Absolutely. Because
no, he hates every second.
Through the puppets, you say things that you could never say. Right. Perfect example: my late friend, the great Otto.
Otto, yeah.
Okay?
Otto.
I knew Otto when he first started, when he was a kid, and we were friends right till the end. And Otto's personality off stage was warped, but not as much as he was when he had George.
Oh, right. Yeah.
You know, it's your personality magnified.
Right.
He said things through George that he would never say to people on his own.
I was at the show where Otto was doing the show, and he was picking on this drunk couple in the front, and the guy got so pissed off because George was picking on his girlfriend, he jumped on stage and stabbed the
Were you there? I was there that night.
Stabbed the dummy in the chest with a fork.
And cut Otto's hand.
That's so funny.
People get so wrapped up in a thing, and then you tell them, you're arguing with a piece of wood. and you're losing.
And he gets sued because he went to punch the puppet and he got splinters in his hand.
Did the dummy die?
No. Okay.
No, dummy really
dummies never die. Don't you watch those movies?
Look at us.
I saw magic.
Yeah.
We're still here.
It's always a pleasure having
Hey, what are you
you
doing, Stucco?
So give out your website if they seriously.
It's PeteMichaels.com and Pete Michaels on Facebook.
And you're also doing lessons too, right?
What, ventriloquist lessons? Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
And my son just started teaching guitar.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
He knows what he got for Christmas because he had to pick it out.
So you converted the den into a studio.
I just got him a Gibson SG.
Oh, wow.
He's thrilled.
Oh, wow.
He's like, no, Dad, I want the one, the faded cherry. Oh, excuse me. Okay. With the big pick guard. Yeah, okay, whatever. So, yeah, I said, don't you want an Epiphone? No, Dad, it's an Epiphone. It's not a real
Gibson makes Epiphone now, though.
Yeah. I told him that.
Yeah.
No, it's got that big headstock. I said, no, what do you care?
You know what? I'm glad that you came tonight because I know you came a long way.
I breathed hard before I got here, so that helped.
The last time he tried to come here, he got derailed and wound up.
You took the train?
What's it, an Amtrak train? Was Gene the engineer?
Some guy, tell the story, Carl. Some guy ran me off the road.
That's why I said, please. I said, if you invite Pete, make sure the weather's good.
Yeah, he got run off
It
the
was
road
bad.
and got the two tires got
It
blown
blew out.
Yeah.
And the guy just kept going.
Did the dummy give the guy the finger at the light before?
No, the dummy was driving.
That's right.
That's how I got run off the road.
Hey, look at the chick in that car over there. Where?
Hey, who's driving here? Hey.
She's driving the car with her boobs. Hey.
It's always a pleasure having you on, man. You know you have an open invite anytime you want.
Is that it? I'm done.
No, you stay.
You're never done.
The dummy can stay.
I'm just happy to see my girl Duck Lips over there.
Yeah, those two are like.
Because
We're two ducks in a pond.
Gisella's always giving me Duck Lips pictures online.
Because she's quacking up.
You guys are a couple of
Well,
dummies.
anytime I take pictures, anytime we go anywhere to any comedy show, I ask the comedian to take a duck picture and I tag Mike with it. And they're all cool with it.
I never got a duck picture.
You're a fucking weirdo, you know that?
Absolutely.
But she smells real good tonight.
I always take a camel picture with the women. And
What is that stuff you're wearing, Michael Kors?
It's a sexy red.
Sexy red. Sexy red, pal.
I'm the one that got it for her. The sexy red my ass.
Well, your ass could be sexy red too.
What do you think's come from the
You're
sexy
sitting
red
next
there?
to Paul. I mean, anything's possible.
You got it for $1 at the dollar store, Carlo. That's your fucking breast.
But
Grab him by his ponytail and play Apache.
And Robert, are you here? Where is he? Robert? Robert, if you have an event and you need a comedian,
don't call Paul.
This guy right here.
Yeah, fuck us. Fuck us.
No.
We don't mean shit.
If you're having a 6-hour event, you call Paul.
Yeah, he was a swappy. He was in the Navy. Call an Army buddy.
I was a pirate, me bucko.
Spec 5, medical specialist, right here.
There you go.
I can treat clap and snake bite.
That'll come in handy.
Simultaneously.
Either way, you swell up.
That's right.
It's like fucking sports teams. How the different military people hate each other, but then they'll try to pretend they like each other.
But make sure you check
They're not
out.
pretending.
This is not England.
Make sure you check out his website, PeteMichaels.com. Pete, I want you to get something. I don't want you to go home yet. I want you to hang around. I want you to see these people sing. You gotta,
I'm looking forward to
you gotta
it.
sing. But right now, I want to bring my adopted sister up.
There's a mic right here. And
Yeah, she can come and sit.
Stay, Pete.
Come on in, Domini.
Domini.
Carlo, this can't be
I make it easy. I call her Domi.
No, this girl's like 15. How is she your sister? You're like 100.
I work with the
she's
Domies.
finally legal. We could drink together.
It's been a while since we
That's
had
not what
a-
we were talking about.
Well, you look very nice. You look very.
Very hype.
Love the red jacket.
You look very festive.
She is.
Festive.
That's it. Last time you came with the animal print, remember?
That's right.
I did.
She represents.
So what have you been up to? I see you're tearing it up all over the place.
Oh, I am. I'm working on a couple of new music projects. EP, my first EP, which is
Oh.
very exciting.
Yeah. You have a title yet? The title yet?
Actually, I do. It's going to be called A Dose, and I'm dropping Monroe. I'm going by Domini. So A Dose of Domini.
Just Domini.
So
Oh,
the
wow.
One word
EP's name will be A Dose of, and then my name, Domini.
Cool. I like
Nice.
that.
Oh wow.
I like one word names.
I caught a dose once in the military.
And this is what kind of, it's like a
Snake bite?
a dance. Is it a ballad, a dancey type?
What
So
type?
it's going to be, it's an EP. I'm thinking about doing 8 songs, because, 8 my number.
That's right.
I thought EPs were 4
Stands for
songs.
infinity. 8 stands for infinity.
Right,
Get
exactly.
it? Dominate.
Yes, Dominators are my fans.
Dominators.
Right. It's
Love
always been
it.
a special thing. I have this thing. I'm a Scorpio, so
Me too. November 3rd.
always rising. And my
I'm always
thing is-
rising.
My thing is like infinity, so I'm thinking of the forever rising kind of thing.
Okay.
Theme. I have a couple songs like that coming
Nice.
out.
Cool.
And most of my songs they're ballads, but they're all stories, things that I've been through.
Yeah.
It's like sort of my diary in an odd way.
Things she's been through. She's 20 years old. Things she's been through.
21.
Domini,
Been an active year. She's had a full life.
The last time you came on and you sung those songs, you sung Imagine and
That was
Fly
great.
High was
It's
amazing.
really nice.
Amazing.
Thank you.
I usually like when people redo Beatles songs. That was beautiful, though. That was great. And the way you did it with the whole world.
Yes, thank
Yeah,
you.
it was
I was
so-
very
it
proud
was-
of my fans.
It was
for getting
definitely
involved.
something that was different. Like you said, a lot of people can cover the Beatles songs, but you did it in a different way. And I
Yeah, it
thought
was really
like-
cool.
She
And you're going to be
reinvented it.
singing tonight for us?
Yes, I am.
You're going to be doing something with Anthony?
Yes, actually, yes, we are.
Oh,
I'm
wow.
gonna do Santa Baby.
Oh, and I love it.
Nice.
Right, it is the holidays. I'm gonna
Just
bring
to
a little
let you
Christmas
know,
band.
guys, at the end of the show, we closed out our show last year, the Christmas show, with Santa Claus is coming to town. So everybody, at the end, we're going to do it. So if you don't know the words, you better Google it now.
I ain't Googling nothing.
If you don't know the words of Santa Claus is coming to town.
Then you need
leave
to
the
get out of
planet.
here.
Leave the planet.
Dominic, you have a website where if everybody wants to go and see your stuff or
Yes, it's www.dominimonroe.com, spelled DOMINIMONROE.com.
Nice
And they can become a dominator.
Yes, they can become a Dom 8 preferred.
Follow her on Instagram.
You have to wear leather for that. Don't you have to wear leather?
Domination.
Yes, Instagram, Facebook, it's Dominique Monroe, Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music.
And I know you come the longest way out of anybody. And every time I call you, you and your mom come. And I want to thank Denise, who's very supportive of the show. And I hope you enjoyed your sushi.
I did. It's amazing.
And she's, Joe, we got to feed her because she's a little too skinny.
Oh,
Just a
she's
little
perfect, just the way she is.
I wish you could have my mother's meatballs because I would force feed them.
You know what? I wish so too. It's been 4 years that I'm gluten free, and I hate it. I hate it. So
I'm gonna be gluten free. Look what Carlo did to me.
But just remember, I want to be at the event when you accept your first Grammy.
I'm gluten free.
You'll be in the speech. You'll be in the speech.
I'm glue free.
But I want to bring up another phenomenal singer to the show. She's been on the show before, and every time I call her or text her,
she says, "Leave me alone."
Just a call. Yeah, she says, "Who is this? Leave me alone."
I said, "Beat it."
But this girl has a voice. Everybody in here is so talented, and they're all great.
Except caller.
Yes, I have. I'm the only one that doesn't have any talent here.
Bullshit.
But I want to bring up Jill Terrell.
Where is she? There she is.
Every time I see her, she gets smaller.
She is. She's very tall now. I used to be the same size as her. I'm shrinking her. She's growing.
It's them pumps.
Jill Krista Terrell.
All right, scooch over. Scooch over. Scooch over.
Scooch
Where am I
over.
gonna sit?
Now we got a chair. Get us one of those chairs.
Got a chair, my lap.
Yeah, sit here.
I was gonna sit with you.
The whole room could sit on your lap, Ed.
I was gonna say that's a Barco lounge.
Yeah, really. That's a whole garden.
So, Jill, I want to thank you. I know you're busy.
Right on time, Ruben.
I see you doing a lot of stuff.
Who's Ruben?
And
sandwich.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for sharing your seat with me, Paul.
Absolutely.
Some of my favorite
Except
guys.
what if it was a toilet seat?
Don't share that.
Don't share that.
Yeah. But Jill, I follow you too, as well as everybody.
Stalker.
Here. And you're always kicking ass every time. And you send me your new single, Maybe Next Christmas. And I texted her right away that I swear it brought tears to my eyes. It's amazing.
That means a lot to me. You never know when you write a song. You know, it's a personal song, and you kind of feel vulnerable. You put something out that means something to you. So to get positive feedback really means a lot.
Had you ever done anything like Christmas related as far as music, or?
Normally I'll do, like, for fun, I'll put out a Christmas song for my supporters, but it's always been a cover. So this time I
This is
wrote
an original. Yeah. Okay. That's awesome. And so,
I love that. It's a great song too.
So where you've been performing a lot all over? And
No, you know, I'm kind of at, like, a different part of my life and career, you know, than Tony, and I'm a mom, and I went for 2 years. I went really hard doing a lot of promotion and all the time performing. And my daughter, who's in 7th grade, said to me, "Mom, are you going to be here for Christmas? Are you going to be here for your birthday? Are you going to be here for New Year's Eve?" And she started listing all these dates, and I said, "Julia, yeah, of course. Why would you ask me that question?" And she said, "Because last year you weren't here for any of those days."
And the cat's in the
Yeah, that's tough.
That selfish bitch.
My baby.
put things on hold for a while?
So, yeah, I decided to take a break from performing and, you know, write a little bit. And in the interim, I met some people in the film industry and got to take some parts in a couple movies. Then I started writing songs for a couple movies that are coming out next year. So,
Yeah, because the last time we saw you, you were working with Todd Terry.
Yeah, Todd's my guy. I work with like 2 people because, you know, this business, it's hard to know who to trust and
unfortunately,
to work
right?
with. So
I wouldn't trust me.
Just
saying.
That's why she's sitting with Paul.
That's why she's sharing your seat.
Now, Jill, the track, Maybe Next Christmas, is that out and available, or it hasn't been released yet?
I don't even know if I'm going to release that. If someone wants it, they can hit me on Facebook and I'll send
Jill,
it to them.
you have
That's
listen.
what I do.
That's such a beautiful
And I'm
song.
not just saying this because we're friends. As a fan,
No, it's
release
gorgeous.
that song. It's a
Yeah,
winner.
I'll give the song away. That's something that
It's
I will
such
do
a beautiful
for
song. It really is.
Maybe
Supporting.
get involved with a charity and donate all
That's
the
a good idea.
proceeds,
That's a good
especially
idea.
Vet Rest.
Yeah.
You know, Vet Rest.
Yeah.
So All right, so Rob, are we ready to go with Christine and Anthony?
Yes, we are, and we're going to talk about 19 Kilo Coffee, shipping
Oh,
coffee
yes.
all around the world today. Tanker Dave is home roasting coffee right now.
Rob, nobody can hear you.
All right, so we have 19 Kilo Coffee. Rob, you want to go ahead and take this?
I know I have a very soft and subtle voice. Yeah, not. A shout out to Tanker Dave Ryden. He's home roasting coffee right now because we're shipping nationwide. Actually,
has its perks.
Shouldn't he be roasting chestnuts?
On an open fire, yes, but the coffee sells money. The chestnuts, you get them in New York.
Business is a real grind, though.
We're a service-disabled, veteran-owned company, and we ship coffee all around the world. So we want folks to go online and buy it. www, as we all know, 19kilocoffee.com. A 19 kilo, for some of you Army guys will know, you Navy guys might not, is a tanker. Tanker Dave was a tank commander in Desert Storm many years ago, and it's been his passion for a long time. He just does a kick-ass job of marketing, selling. We're hiring vets all over the country. We're going to go to a multi-marketing platform now to help push our coffee brands and such. We make special labels for any type of special event. And Tanker Dave hosted a big Tanker Dave hosted a big event this past golf season for Vet Rest. We raised a lot of money in support of our cause and in support of our coaches and counselors. So
I wish we would have came. We could have put him. You could have roasted the coffee next to Ruben's insulation.
and I have to tell and my wife's going to yell at me if I don't say that I'm a realtor in North Jersey because I have to make some freaking money somehow. So I'm a realtor. Damn it, use me. I'm out there. I'm pretty good, actually.
And also doing the tanker. It's so hard to drive a tanker in the desert. There's no water. They have wheels on them.
All right.
I think we're ready for Christine Mart. Are we going to do your Santa Claus song first, or are we going to do Home Don't Feel Like Home?
Let's do Home Don't Feel Like Home,
Okay,
and then we're going to
go
do
Christmas.
Then we'll go low and then go high.
Okay. You got to put the microphone somewhere?
Oh, we're gonna put the microphone somewhere.
So right now,
Pete, you're up.
So
Christine Martucci. Right now, what? You need a chair? Sure? It's up to you.
So while you guys are figuring this all out, some of the songs, some of the words in the song, some of the lyrics that Shower wrote are just magical, Carlo. They, the one that I tell you that hits me is this purple heart won't even buy me a cup of coffee. So,
yeah, that's amazing.
Oh, Purple Heart can't buy me a thing or something like that. But I want you to listen to the words and feel the passion that Christine and Anthony put into this song. And this song is going to make a difference in many, many people's lives. And we just hope that someone out there is listening can help us get this song to another level.
Absolutely. All right, right now we're going to have Christine Martucci singing Home Don't Feel Like Home, and she's going to be accompanied by Anthony Kreizan. So let's give them our attention, please.
What's the reverb on there? Reverb? I got you.
Yeah. Give me 1 second. We'd like this to sound live if possible, so not like a board jacket.
So, whenever you guys are ready.
Reverb.
Cousin Brucey.
Easy. We make 4.
Is that too much echo? Is that good?
That's cool. Gene, are you the house? You're the sound? Okay, we got some guys. Let's give Can we dim the lights, please?
How you doing, Animal House Radio? Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and Kwanzaa, and everything Festivus for the rest of us.
Can we dim the lights and get some red M&Ms?
Wait, I always want the green, Anthony.
Oh, yeah, make it green. It is Christmas.
Okay, so special shout out to all our veterans out there, and also active duty members of the military. This song is for you. Cheryl DeVega, Anthony Kreizan wrote that song, produced it, and I'm just signing it. Kiss the ground when the plane touched down. Welcome home.
There were people waving signs with pride in their eyes. Wasn't so long ago. Now my front line is 42nd Street. Standing in the rain with a cup of tea, and this purple heart can't buy me a thing. Is anybody out there? Can anybody hear me? Feel like a stranger in this land that's still worth fighting for. Home don't feel like home anymore. Wake up in a cold sweat, end of a subway line. The shaking of the train pulls a trigger in my brain, and I go back in time. Now my dreams are chasing me. I don't stand a chance when I can't see the anymore. Anybody out there? Anybody hear me? Feel like a stranger in this land that's still worth fighting for. Home don't feel like home anymore. I might be here, but I'm still over there. It's over there, I wasn't scared like I am now. Is anybody out there? Can anybody hear me? Is anybody out there? Can anybody hear me? Is anybody out there? Home don't feel like home anymore. Home don't feel like home anymore. Home don't feel like home anymore. This home don't feel like home anymore.
That was amazing, guys. Come on, keep it going. Christine, you have that here? Yeah. You want to try it?
Get the hell of a week behind me.
Okay, well, you're not, I don't want you to do nothing that you don't want to do.
Let's do Ocean.
I didn't plan on it.
No pressure, Anthony. No
That
pressure.
was phenomenal, though.
Friday, left the hell of a week behind me. Pulled into my driveway. Can't remember when I felt so tired. But then you called me, said, baby, come with me. You could leave your sleeping for tomorrow. Next thing I know, I'm on the Parkway South, headed for a short time. Oh, you know, How y'all doing tonight? Got a lot going for you. Kinda like the hard rock to never report. But there's a spirit calling in across another bridge. That's where I'm going. Next thing I know, I'm on the Parkway southbound, headed for a short time. Oh, you know what I'm talking about. Southside Johnny playing at the corner. Don't you know what I'm talking about? It's my kind of party, Jersey style. Anthony cries on guitar. Tall and key, good love's guaranteed when it's all waiting. Just past 1898 on the Parkway southbound, headed for a short time. Oh, you know what I'm talking about. Southside Johnny, playing at the corner. Oh, you know what I'm talking about. My God, my God, my God, Johnny inside. Merry Christmas!
I hope you have fucking Easy Pass.
Still can't make a left turn.
You go home, Norton. That is amazing.
Carlo, you're sitting there. You look like a young girl in a 72. Wet spot. Carlo's
They were worried.
Hey,
Turn the channel off. Turn the channel off so we can turn the plug off.
Robert, you want to keep the music going, or should we take a small break?
Excuse me, 1 minute.
Let's keep on going. Let's go.
Keep on going.
Party.
All right. Gene, I need you to turn up the speaker volume because I'm going to do another holiday message. All right.
It's already up.
All right, I just want to make sure. All right, that was Christine Martucci and Anthony Crizon. Please give them another round of applause. All right, right now we're going to play another one of our holiday messages that from the celebrities that have been on our show. This one was real special to me. We just had him on the show last week. Please listen up for Joe Mantegna.
Well, put your volume up.
Oh, wait, what happened? Hold on.
Hey, Gene, it wasn't your fault this time.
No, it wasn't my fault.
No. Really listen for Joe Mantegna. Really listen for him.
Bionic ears.
What happened is my plug fly. You ready?
Gene plugged in the photocopier.
Take two.
Plug it in.
It's the one fucking time it wasn't your fault, Gene, all right?
Thank you. Oh, man, must have been the universe.
Here we go.
Now put your volume level up.
To all our servicemen and women at home and around the world defending freedom, this is Joe Mantegna wishing you a very happy holidays. Yeah. You may be a long way from home, but your incredible bravery and sacrifice is always on our minds. May your 2018 be peaceful and bright.
Yeah.
Michael Corleone is
Thanks, Joe.
not my
Good talking to
target.
you.
Is that Dave?
Yeah,
You just missed a phone call.
We missed another phone call.
Hey, shocker! Gene missed yet another phone call.
He didn't want no phone
That's
calls.
Dave.
He said he didn't want no
No.
phone calls.
It's Dave. You can play.
Dave don't count.
You said no phone
How am
calls.
I supposed to?
You said no
Dave,
phone
call
calls.
again.
Dave's not
Call
here,
again,
man.
Dave. It's Papa. It's Papa Smurf.
Call Carlo, you let your production staff talk shit to you like this?
Call again.
Come on, put your producer in
Dave,
his place.
call again, please.
If I knew he was calling, I would tell you. I have.
It was on the screen right there. He was on the screen, sure.
Put his phone number up there.
Hey, Gene, go do another Facebook video about peace and love.
Dave's not here, man.
All right, let's keep it moving. Domini, you ready to do yours?
Poor Dave.
Domini needs her people.
Domini.
Domini needs her people.
Gene, let me ask you.
People.
Am I telling these people to call?
Keep 13 off until he plugs in.
Nothing better to end the year with an on-air fight between Carlo and the producer. Let's go.
Yeah.
Fuck him, right, Carlo?
Howard's got Gary.
Fuck that piece of shit, right, Carlo?
Yeah, you ever see Howard's got Gary?
You tell my mic.
There you go. There you go. There you go. I got the power.
That's
Where's
funny.
my road here? Don't put 13 on yet. I'm the roadie tonight. Oh, shit. Okay, put 13 on. Put 13 on.
Yeah.
Put channel 13 on.
Domini, you want to tell everybody what you're going to do?
Yes. I'm going to sing Santa Baby. Since
And you're going to be accompanied by Anthony Preisner?
Yeah, we just met in the hallway and it's in a flat key, so
You
if
did,
you will,
but
we're just going to get
there's no
through it.
better way to do this, right?
He's calling again right now.
You just missed it. It said call ended.
Yeah, because I told him to call after the song.
Santa baby, just live the same and learn to live for me. I've been an awful good girl, Santa baby, so hurry down the chimney tonight. Santa baby, a 54 convertible to like you. I'll wait up for you, dear Santa baby, so hurry down the chimney tonight. Think of all the fun I missed. Think of all the fellas that I haven't kissed. And next year I can be oh so good if you check on my Christmas list. Santa baby, I want a yacht and really that's not alive. A pretty angel on me, Santa baby, so hurry down the chimney tonight. Santa baby, there's one thing that I really do need, the deed to a platinum mine. Santa baby, so hurry down the chimney tonight. Come and trim my Christmas tree with some decorations bought at Tiffany's. I really do believe in you. Let's see if you believe in me. Santa baby, forgot to mention one little thing. A ring. I don't mean on the phone, Santa baby, so hurry down the chimney tonight. Hurry down the chimney tonight. Hurry down the chimney tonight.
I just want to know, you sang that song, Ed came down the chimney.
You got stuck halfway down it, though.
I'm matching my shirt here.
I almost started humping Jill's leg and giving her Me Too moment. You would have fucking killed her.
Jill actually took the mace out of her purse.
And the shotgun.
Oh my God.
Gene, is Dave still trying to call?
He's called like 9 times while that song was on.
I told him to call after Domini sang.
Okay, you got another one in you, Domini?
Let's not ask her that question. She just turned 21.
Of course she does.
Oh, okay. All right. We're gonna do Santa Claus coming down. That's at the end of the show.
Jack
But-
Jambanko said you sound amazing.
Hey, Gene, you have Jill's stuff queued up?
I have nothing.
He's got the photocopier working right now, though.
I don't have nothing.
Okay, well, whoever. I'm sorry.
Ruben.
All right.
Ruben, get him a good.
Ruben.
Right now, we're gonna another one of our esteemed guests and a really great friend of the show, Jill Terrell, another phenomenal singer. She's got a new song out that it's more of a labor of love, and I heard it the other day and I was blown away by it, and it's called Maybe Next Christmas.
Yes, maybe
All right,
next
so whenever you're ready, Jill, you take it away.
We put a little reverb on this mic.
You're asking too much. It's gonna work
Reverb on the mic.
This is my mic.
It should be for her on
On channel 2.
She's not on the singing right now.
She's on channel 2. Oh, it does all channels?
You wanted to go out there, Carlo, and sing on the singing mic?
She's more comfortable back here.
I got you.
You sure? You want to stay here?
Yeah, I want to be with the team.
Okay.
I'm a studio girl. Give me like a booth and a.
We got a booth.
Ed's got a booth in his basement. You want to go over?
Take it easy over
All
there.
I need is a basement. Puts the lotion on itself.
We have a confessional, too.
They think this is Police Academy, that you're going to go under the table. Not going to happen.
Look at Ruben acting like he knows what he's
You
doing.
can never work in NASCAR, you know that, right?
Selma to the point.
That's the closest he's come to switching out a mic right in 3 years.
Thank God it wasn't 4 tires. I'm surprised you're used to it. You're stealing hubcaps, so you should be used to it. But okay, guys, let's give our attention to our friend, Miss Jill Terrell, and her single.
Is mic number 2 on?
Say something, Jill.
Hello.
You want a little
Good day,
reverb
Mike.
on it?
Alright,
it's on. You got a little reverb on it for her? A little bit, just a little bit.
A little bit. Are you supposed to like do commercials while this stuff's going on?
Jack Jambanko says, go, Jill. Yeah, Jill.
FriendshipLights.com.
That's right. Our good
FriendshipLights.com.
friend. Merry Christmas to Jack
Unfortunately,
Jam.
he couldn't be with us today, but he will definitely be joining us soon.
This is now turned into the New Year's show with all the technical difficulties.
Yeah, right?
Ed needs feeding again, everybody.
All right, we're out of food. All right, let's give it a listen.
Test, 1, 2.
How's that sound, Jill? A little more reverb?
It'll be a work in progress.
Jill, we know you can sing better than us anyway.
Can you hear yourself?
Yeah.
All right, it's this song is called Maybe Next Christmas.
Hope you guys like it.
We'll love it.
Wait, is your mic plugged in? Ruben was touching it.
And the microphone. Yeah.
Wait, who's Ruben?
Was it a silent night?
Yeah, I'm digging it.
This is a little bit sad. I have to get in my space.
Okay.
As soon as I hear it, I'll start singing.
Is that it? I'll try to get it started. Monkey wrenches are stop.
Ruben's got the CD and the cassette player. Push play.
In my dreams, you help me hang the lights up on a tree. You pull me close and sing carols with me. And everything is just as it should be. And when and I feel as cold as pastels, so I can tell my friends at home, maybe next Christmas. Every night I say a prayer that you'll be in my life. I fall asleep only my little time and keep repeating things will be alright. Baby, next Christmas. I know I bump into you. I become a kid of Christmas all the way. Your eyes, they say you feel it too. Sparkling like the lights we love to drive around and see. Someday I hope you walk with me all night and tell the world you're proud to be my man. Share love the way we've always played. I wish you would come into town. I'll keep telling my Sarah Brown, maybe next Christmas. I lost my voice. So I'll keep telling my ancient heart, baby, next Christmas. Baby, next Christmas. Baby, next Christmas. Merry Christmas.
Beautiful.
It's hard to sing a song nobody knows.
A song like that, nobody has to know. It's universal.
I feel like my whole career, I'm like on stage with people who are 30 years deep in the business, doing songs that everybody knows and everybody's singing along. And I'm always like the girl who's like, let me sing the new song that nobody knows.
No, that's fine.
So,
How long did it take you to write that?
as long as it took me to sing it.
Ready? Oh, wow. That's awesome. Well, Jill, you know,
My home studio.
I hope you're going to stick around and hang out because we're going to do a big song at the
Absolutely.
end. It's
Yes.
just, you know, in honor of the troops. And tonight's show is in memory of JT Vici, who's no longer with us. But you know, and we're here to support Vet Rest and Christine and Domini and all our Anthony and Cheryl, who's a phenomenal writer, and everybody who came to support the show. So, and you're a big part of that. And every time I call you, you never fail to respond. And that's, for me, I'm forever grateful.
It's a Jersey connection.
Yeah, that's what it is. Absolutely. JT. We got plenty more show. Don't go away. We're going to take a small 3-4 minute break. We'll be back right after this. We're going to see if we can get Dave Hodge on the phone. We're going to see if Dave. What are you doing?
Give me 10. Give me 10.
What are you playing? Naked Twister?
Is Dean going to reunite with Jerry in the next segment?
Yeah. We'll be back after this. It's the Animal House Radio Show.
I heard. I shared it with my mother and everyone. And she shared it with her.
Somebody get Jill.
Ladies all set.
I love you, Paul.
I know you did.
All right, everybody, we're back here.
Call him first.
You're back on, guys.
All right, we're back here on the Animal House Radio Show. Give it up.
Yeah!
Second annual Christmas party, and now we're going to turn it over to the man on the street.
How you doing, folks? We're on the street here in New York. There's a lot of people going on. It's Christmas time. Everybody's shopping and doing things. When I interview people, I say, well, here comes somebody. How you doing, sir? How you doing, sir? What's your name, sir?
Yeah, you do. My name is Edwin.
Edwin? Yes. That's
Edwin.
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 Edwin. Just one name is two names.
Edwin.
Edwin.
Edwin. It's Ed.
You gamble?
No, that'd be Ed Luz.
Oh, Ed Luz. And what do you do for a living, Ed? What do you do, sir?
I'm a sharecropper.
Sharecropper here in New York? Really? What are you fucking growing, sir?
Shares. Proper shares, fool.
Shares. And how do you celebrate Christmas? How do you guys celebrate Christmas?
What do we do?
Celebrating Christmas? You're on your way. You're doing shopping? What are you doing?
Celebrate Kwanzaa.
What's that?
Kwanzaa.
Celebrate Kwanzaa? Does this come off? Okay. And how do you celebrate? How do you celebrate?
We get around the Kwanzaa bush.
What bush?
The Kwanzaa bush.
Kwanzaa bush? I knew a girl like that.
Yeah. That's my daughter, Kwanzaa bush.
She's named the Bush family?
Yeah.
I knew she was a little shrub.
Yeah, exactly.
Very nice.
Got little leaves.
Now, where you going? How you celebrate tonight? You doing anything with celebrating? What are you doing?
No, I don't celebrate. That's amateur night.
Oh, okay. When is Kwanzaa? At the same time as Christmas, or?
Yeah, June.
June. You're a little behind, okay, but
maybe I'm a little ahead.
Okay, but where are you heading off to now? You were walking down the street.
I walked somewhere, then you got in the way.
Oh, so you weren't really willing to stop. You weren't going anywhere in particular?
No.
Okay, nice meeting you, sir. Nice, Mr. What was your name again?
Edwin.
Edwin. Okay, nice to meet you, sir. Very nice. I know somebody else. How you doing, sir? What's your name, sir?
Jared.
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 Yeah.
Jared what?
Fogel.
Jared Fogel. Very nice, sir. And what do you do for a living, sir?
I deliver sub sandwiches to the events.
Maybe I should get a little away from you then. Wait a minute.
You're way too old.
Oh, good. And so, how do you celebrate Christmas? How do you do that?
Right now I'm doing like 15.
15 what?
Years.
Oh, that's how you celebrate Christmas? You're in jail?
Yeah, so I'm going to get Subway up my ass.
I'm going to enjoy the mayonnaise.
Yeah, exactly. Footlong.
Footlong, yeah.
Black guy's a footlong.
You're going to get more than the footlong, sir. You get 2 for 1.
Yeah.
And what do you do for a living?
Well, I used to deliver the Subway sandwiches, but I don't think they'll let me do that anymore.
Okay. You have an accent. You're from England or something?
From Wisconsin.
I noticed the accent. Well, good luck to you. Have a great holiday, all right?
I'm sure it'll be awesome.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. How you doing, sir?
How you doing?
What's your name, sir?
My name is Fredo.
Fredo. Oh, man, your younger brother. Okay, very nice to meet you. What do you do for a living, sir? What do you do?
I'm actually I'm a tech guy. I'm working on a new app. It's called Found Google.
Found Google is a nice app. What's it do? It tells people to fuck themselves?
Actually, none of your fucking business.
Oh, that's good. That's perfect. I said that's perfect because it makes your name right.
You got a little edge to you.
I'm trying to put my hair down. Okay. What do you do for a living, sir?
I thought I just told you I'm in the tech business.
That's it. So now you're doing the app. Okay. So you're in the computer business? What are you saying?
My kids and I were sitting around the table and they say shit. It just pops out of their mouth. I look it up. I can't find nothing on Google. So I figured let me do my own app. Found Google.
I like that. I think they're going to catch on. Yeah, I like that. And how do you celebrate Christmas with your family?
I don't celebrate Christmas.
So the phone goal comes in.
Too expensive. Too expensive.
Yeah, that's true. It is.
It takes off. Who knows? You know.
And where are you heading out today? Where were you going?
I'm gonna go sit next to Carlo over there.
You're on the streets here. What the hell are you talking about? What are you? Well, it's nice to meet you, sir. You take care of yourself. Have a good Christmas, all right? Anybody else? Here comes somebody. How you doing, sir? Here he comes. How you doing? What's your name, sir?
Freddie.
Freddie, what? Face over here. So I'm going to want to see it. Freddie, what's your last name, Freddie?
Freddie.
Freddie. This is Freddie.
My ass.
Well, he stutters. But and what do you do for a living, Freddie?
Pick up the trash.
What is that? How things pick it up?
I pick it up.
How many people at your disposal? That's good. And you celebrate Christmas with your family? Is it the holidays, right?
I pick up the trash.
Okay, but on the holiday, do you celebrate a certain way?
I eat.
And then you make trash and you pick it up. That makes sense. And where are you heading out? Where are you going?
I don't know.
Well, I think you're almost there.
Oh, that's the cleaning guy. That's not one of your interviews, buddy.
Well, it's nice meeting you, sir. Have a very good Christmas. And Freddie. And good luck with the trash. I think he was trash. I see a young lady coming. How you doing, dear? How you doing? What's it say? Define good. I like that. Nice to meet you. Well, what's your name?
Savannah the stripper.
Savannah the stripper. Very nice. And what did you do here? What happened?
I want my money back.
I was masturbating a little too hard. When I got to the climaxing point, the wrist just kind of snapped back and broke.
I never heard of the climaxing point.
Hi, the kids.
What the fuck's the climaxing point?
Savannah?
I'm a stripper.
You mean like a stripper in a paint stripper? Oh, Freddie, when you have some left over, he'll pick it up. Very nice. And then, so you're a stripper.
Hey, $1,000 a night.
Bullshit.
Wow, I can't afford that.
5 nights a week. That's $5,000 a week.
So that's good, huh?
What do you do with the money?
I don't know who that guy is, but
I go on 3 vacations a year.
wow. And where's your favorite place to go?
Punta Cana.
Oh yeah.
Who's a Kunta?
I know a guy has an app. It's called Fangool. It's a very good app.
Punta
And where are you heading? Where are you going? Where are you going?
I was going home.
Oh, very nice. Well, good luck to you.
The right hand is out of commission. The left hand needs more practice.
Okay, I'll see you later. Nice meeting you. Have a very good holiday.
You as well.
All right. Happy Hanukkah, too, yes. We have a Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, and a Christmas so far. We're doing good. I don't know where everybody is. Did I see anybody else coming down the street here?
Mr. Modica.
Where is it? There he is. Hey, Frank, come here, Frankie.
Is everyone called fucking Frank on this street?
That's HB. I know him.
It's Honey Bunny.
Anybody else coming down the street? I don't know all by my own. Here comes somebody. Here comes somebody. Nice looking gentleman. How you doing, sir? What's your name, sir?
My name?
No, my name. What's fucking my name? Lost. Your name, sir?
Yes. Carmine.
Carmine's here. Where's Tony? And what do you do for a living, Carmine? What do you do, sir?
I do cleaning.
Cleaning. We have a guy that picks up.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, so it's good to be cleaning. What kind of cleaning? Like cleaning windows, cleaning, what do you clean?
Clean up messes.
That makes sense. You don't clean up something that's clean. Doesn't make any sense, yeah. Well, what kind of messes are we talking?
It depends on the contract.
Oh, it's one of those kind of clean jobs. I see what you mean. Are you packing? I'm going to make sure. Right? And how do you celebrate Christmas? How do you guys celebrate Christmas with your family?
We just take a ride.
Just take a ride, that's it. You can do it any day. You don't have to wait till Christmas to do that. You know that.
Just take a ride. We just go someplace where it's nice and quiet. Just take a shovel. Yeah.
Makes sense. I understand.
Shovels, bats.
I dig it. Merry Christmas to you. Thank you, sir. That was very nice. Hopefully not too soon, sir. Holy mackerel. That was scary.
Take the canoe.
That was a great job, man. On this.
Yeah, that's it? Okay, man, that's right. I don't see anybody else, but have a Merry Christmas, everybody. We'll see you soon. Take care.
Yeah. That bit went downhill fast, didn't it?
All right. No, that was great. That was great. It's not his usual 5 hours. That
yeah, I know, right?
But joining us now in the hot seat is a dear friend of the show. He's been on the show many times, and he never fails to disappoint. Please welcome back to the show, Mr. Lou the Fork.
Whoa. Carlo, you just said he never fails to disappoint.
Yeah, I caught that.
Right.
You hear that, right? He just said he doesn't fail to disappoint. That's a fucking plug right there.
He's right. Hey, nobody bombs like me.
If you ever go out to eat with this guy works the plate like a mechanic. He's like the Michelangelo with a knife and fork.
It's true. Hello, Carlo.
Hello. So how you been, buddy?
I've been sick for 6 weeks, to be honest with you. I feel lousy.
You've been looking in the mirror again?
Yeah. Cancer? I wish it was something I could diagnose. I've been sick. I've been coughing and everything. You know, it's tough. It's tough. I'm not even in the Christmas spirit. I'm not even in the Christmas spirit, Carlo.
Why not?
Yeah, you know.
You're always the most happy-go-lucky
You're supposed to be jolly.
I know.
Yeah.
What's up?
What the hell?
Well, maybe if we paint him green.
Carlo, why is this guy on the Christmas show?
Is that because you have the Fangulo app?
What do you mean? Why is this
Fun Google.
Because he just said he's not in the Christmas spirit.
Well, you
I
know.
don't know. He's one of my dearest friends. That's why.
I did go shopping though for my wife. You know, I bought her some Christmas presents.
You did. What did you get her?
Well, I got her 2 things this year.
Right.
I got her a pair of slippers
And a vacuum.
and a dildo.
Dildo.
Yeah. Yeah, if she don't like the slippers, she can go fuck herself.
Give me the app. Give me the app.
Fun Google. www.fungoogle.
And that's all you got her?
No. Well, yeah, that's for now. But you know, I tell you, I'm not feeling good. And as a public service announcement, I want everybody to go out there and get your annual checkup. You know, with Obamacare, you get one for free. It's very important that you stay healthy because health is wealth. Let's face it, right? It's very important. However, my wife had a bad experience.
What happened?
She did.
She married you?
No, that's the second bad experience. The first bit, a couple of weeks ago, she went for her annual checkup, and she was in the room for about 45 minutes. She comes running out. She's crying. I said, Andrew, what's the matter? She says, she tells me the whole story. I storm into the doctor's office. I say, hey, buddy, what's up? He said, what's the matter? I said, you have my wife in there in the examining room for 45 minutes. He said, yeah, I gave her a thorough exam. Why? I said, yeah, but you spent more than half of it on her private parts. He said to me, hey, who's the podiatrist, me or you? It's a bad experience. What else you want to know?
I love the story you tell about your mom going to the airport.
Oh, that's a true story.
Going to Florida?
Going to Disneyland.
You want to regale us with that one?
I could give you a little snippet of it.
Okay.
Get it? Snippet?
Yeah.
No, we were going to Disney, and I took my parents with us, and you know, my mother travels with Gold Bond powder. There's nobody 75 or older in this room, so you might not understand that. But
yeah, there is. Mr. Modica.
No.
Yeah, he's.
You look good for 75.
Well, he's in his.
Did you know tomorrow's my birthday?
Really?
I'll be 53 tomorrow.
Happy birthday to Lou.
Oh,
A lot of December babies. It was Shay's birthday.
Shay yesterday. God bless you,
And
Shay.
it's Stephen Darley's
Happy
birthday.
He's a lot younger than I am.
Anniversary.
I'm not a lot
Anniversary,
younger.
yeah.
Anniversary, birthday.
I turned 47 yesterday.
Oh.
I would have been 48, but I got left back.
You were sick a year.
Yeah, I got left back.
So what did you get for your birthday? A pair of slippers and a dildo?
Yes. No, just 2 dildos.
Hey, if you don't like the dildo, you can go fuck yourself twice. You know, it's like,
You heard that old story. What do you tell a blonde with 2 black eyes?
There's nothing. She's been told twice already.
All right, so Gold Bond.
Gold Bond powder, and we get stopped. You know, they stop us, and they...
This was in Newark or in the Florida?
No, this is in Newark. And what they did was, you know, they examined the Gold Bond powder. Now, you have to understand, though, it wasn't just like the little bottle that you buy. Like this was the Costco 4,900-ounce Gold Bond powder. No one chafes this much, people. I mean, you know, she had
not even Ed.
Not even Ed. And she had the industrial size.
Right.
So they stop her. Meanwhile, known members of Al-Qaeda are walking by with guns and bayonets and everything.
Rocket launchers.
Yeah, she's acting as a shill for these people. She doesn't even know it. But now they're worried about the 75-year-old lady taking Gold Bond powder onto the plane. It was a big thing. It was a big deal. So, well, you know, these guys come over. They're sniffing it. They're lighting it with Bunsen burners and everything. They're trying to see what, you know, how it's going to react, you know, in case we're in the air. And they asked her if she packed her own bag, and she said, yes, I did. And he said, well, you know, you can't bring this on the plane. He said, what do you use it for? And she says, I chafe. He said, man, you chafe. This is 4,900 ounces of Gold Bond. What do you chafe? Long story short, they end up confiscating.
Too late for that.
Too late. Shay, let me tell the jokes for a minute, okay? You know,
yeah, Shay! Yeah, Shay! Enough of that out of you!
Now I got it. This is a tough time.
Yeah, right?
I'm hearing things.
My lips didn't even move.
So they confiscate the powder, and now she's worried she's going to be in Florida and not be able to find Gold Bond powder. I said, it's the chafing capital of the world. I mean, let's face it, right? Florida is known for 2 things, oranges and chafing. So luckily for us, on 138th Street in Florida, we scored some Gold Bond powder. It was like $400 an ounce, but she was able to make the Disney trip.
You got it from Angel Salad,
yeah,
right?
exactly. Exactly. Say hello to my little friend.
Oh, man. Well, I'm glad you're feeling better.
I'm feeling much better, thank you.
And, you know, besides being a funny guy and a great humanitarian, Lou is an astute businessman, and he's got a business, and I want him to tell you all about it.
Sure, it's Elite Financial Services. We're large enough to meet your needs and small enough to care about them.
When your bank says no, Lou says yes.
I say no way. But yeah, you're always good to us, Carlo, and thanks for the plugs. And
absolutely.
Actually, I need some plugs.
What's the website?
It's www.elitefsnj.com.
Check that out, and please support Lou.
Yeah, we're a little low on funds, so
we got to get Gianni new platform shoes.
Gianni, by the way, Gianni and I drove up from the north today.
Yes.
And actually, he worked the pedals and I did the steering wheel. It worked out well. Exactly. Like,
You lay off the friggin' ventriloquist already.
You and the other guy.
Jesus.
He just wants you to make a duck lips.
Wait a minute. Gianni's small enough to be one of
fuck
your
is wrong with
puppets.
you?
Oh, easy now.
Small enough to meet your needs and large enough to talk about it.
Make you bleed.
What's his name? Johnny Funzalo.
Tell him to stand up.
You know what? Gisela used to work for Gianni at his salon, and he became a good friend of ours. And him and his wife are the sweetest people in the world. And every time I go up there, they always treat us like family. But I always break his balls, and he rolls with a Gianni. He gets a kick out of us. And,
You know, I got to say something about Gianni and Maria, and this is from the heart.
are they the Italian version of Donnie and Marie?
Yeah, I think so. Gianni in Italian actually means Donnie, I believe. I think that's. But
I'm a little bit country. I'm a little bit fucking rock and roll.
It means I wear platform
And
shoes.
Carlo,
on
did you know Shay used to go to Gianni's place?
Did you really, Shay?
When he had hair. Yeah, a long time ago.
Why, you lived up that way?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Shay, you have a question you want to ask?
No.
But I just want to say that we've gotten to know Gianni and Maria very closely in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's a couple that's more benevolent than the two of them.
Oh, yeah.
Every fundraiser, God bless them because, in this day and age, people need help. And, Maria being a survivor, they're very, very active with cancer every year. They have a big luncheon, very informative. And I just want to say how impressed I am with their family and how much they do for people. You don't see that too often.
Gianni, you want to say a few words? You want to say a few words, Gianni, if we can understand you?
Now go get your shine box.
I like to say, hey, Paul, imagine him and Paul having a conversation. What?
He's from fucking Europe. I probably understand him better than you.
And now Bella Lugosi. Go ahead.
Bella Lugosi.
I just want to thank you guys, and I think it's a great thing that you guys do. Great show, and I'm a fan. I appreciate you guys.
Just remember, when I send you a pizza, Gianni, I'm watching you. Oh, boy, we have so much to do. Lou, you're going to stick around, right?
Get out of here. I got the next hour. Go.
Show's over, everybody.
He's got
Show's over.
We got one more. We got another celebrity shout out to the troops. So I'll make sure I get that on for you now. This young lady was on our show a lot, plenty of times. She's a big fan of the show, and she's a big supporter of our military. So please listen.
All right, everybody, we're back here on the Animal House Radio Show, and the next celebrity on the phone that wants to send out some love to all our military is a dear friend of the show. We love having her on. We look forward to talking with her in the new year. Please welcome back Miss Tawny Katane.
Well, you know what I want to say?
What?
I would love to tell the troops, happy holidays. Can you give me that opportunity?
Absolutely. It would be an honor for us, for them and us to hear from you.
Well, thank you. I just want to say that I am thinking of everyone, every man, every woman who is wearing a uniform, who's out there protecting our country so that we back home can be safe and healthy with our loved ones, and we're protecting your kids and taking care of everybody, and we just thank you from the bottom of our hearts. I kind of get tongue-tied when I think about our military. I mean, honest to God, without them, would we have our freedom that we have today? Absolutely not.
Exactly.
So, from the bottom of my heart, I'll tell you, if you're listening and you're not in the military, I want you, the next time you see a man or woman in a uniform, in a military uniform, a policeman, a fireman, I want you to walk up to that person and tell them that you're grateful for their service. Because without people like them, without first responders, without our military, we wouldn't be the country that we are today. So I thank you from the bottom of my heart. And happy holidays. Merry Christmas.
Yeah. It's good, it's good talking to you, Tony. We'll talk again. Wait, she wasn't live?
No, she wasn't live either.
Wait, we got one more. We got a couple more, but I want to squeeze in one more real quick. Ready?
Squeeze it.
All right, everybody. The next celebrity on our list for the
Sounds like
holiday messages for the troops
Thanks,
is none
Carlo.
other than TV icon Jerry Mathers. Some people might leave it to chance. Some people might leave it to fate, but I'd rather leave it to Beaver. Please welcome back on the show. And his love out to
We all like to leave it to
Jerry
Beaver.
Mathers.
Thank you for this opportunity to let me tell the troops what I think. I'm a service member myself. I spent 6 years in the Air Force and National Guard, so it's something I know that when you're away for the holidays, it's not a fun thing. So I'm more than happy to say hi to them and maybe try to brighten their day a little bit.
Yeah, it's the least we can do.
Hi, this is Jerry Mathers from the Leave It to Beaver television show. To all our Armed Forces service members, thank you for your commitment to our country to preserve the world's freedom. We appreciate the sacrifice you make, and they will never be forgotten. We thank you for your dedicated service and pray for your safety. From myself and my family, we are sending Merry Christmas and Happy Holiday wishes to all of you around the world who are bravely standing watch for America.
Jerry, from us here at Animal House Radio, Merry Christmas to you and your family, and a Happy New Year. And we'd love to have you on again in the new year because we always love hearing from you.
Anytime, guys. I'm always at your service.
Thank you so much. Take care and have a wonderful holiday.
Golly, Mrs. Cleaver, Theodore did a great job, didn't he?
That was creepy, Eddie.
Merry Christmas, Jerry. It was good talking to you.
Yeah, let's play a few more. I'm enjoying this. Here we go.
He's enjoying it. What's up, everybody? It's Brian Tishy, and I just wanted to send thoughts out to all the men and women overseas in our military doing what they do and keeping our country as great as it is. And thank you for defending it and doing everything, especially at this time. It's the holiday time of year, so Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and have a great 2018. Thank you all again. Hey, this is Mark Slaughter. I just wanted to say thank you to all the troops, to all the people that defend our country, keep us safe, who have sacrificed so much to be away for our freedom and the fact that we get a chance to enjoy life the way we do. We thank you. I thank you. And don't think that we're not thinking of you in the holidays. So much love to you guys, and we'll see you real soon.
That's great, Mark. And on behalf of us here at Animal House Radio and my family, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to you and your family.
Carl, I want to find out when the next tour is.
You too. Merry Christmas.
When are you on tour again, Mark?
That's my question. That's my question.
Mark, when are you on tour again?
Together and have
Mark, you done? Absolutely, absolutely.
Carlo,
you got it.
Yeah, Christmas, whatever. When are you on
Thank you so
tour?
much, and have a great holiday. I'll see you here this next year.
You got it. Take care, Mark.
That's my question.
You know, Ed is loving these things because every time you play one, Paul feeds him another cookie. Does anyone else see that? He wants you to play another 45. You got 45 more?
I'm full of the cookies.
If anyone out there is still listening, please call in and let us know.
Listen to me.
You know, it was like watching Scooby give Shaggy gives Scooby snacks to Scooby.
Who is the engineer to chime in?
1 second.
Wait, what mark are you?
Comedy is one thing, but please, these celebrities took the time. Stop talking over them.
It's a little too late for that.
Well, I'm telling you now, because these people took time out of their schedules to do us a favor here, and I don't think it's right that you're talking over them.
Well, thanks for bringing the show down.
I guess we're fired.
Okay, so no crew.
The lights just went out.
I'm going to play the last one.
Wait, all right, we'll be quiet.
Cool, 4 listeners left.
All right, everybody, we're back here on the Animal House Radio Show, and joining us now is another one of our celebrity guests here to give his holiday message to our troops, none other than comic icon Rich Little.
Still alive.
And thank God for that, because you're a national treasure.
Well, I'm glad you think so. I don't know about my ex-wife.
I thank you for taking the time to join us today. It's a very honored to have you on the show. And the last time you appeared on our show, I don't know if Harlan had told you or not, but it was a phenomenal success. We received several thousand emails praising the interview.
All I just want to say is, John Wayne, the Duke, Clint Eastwood. I just want to say this, folks. And Arnold Schwarzenegger, former governor of California. Sylvester Stallone, you know? Anyway, this is Rich Little, and I just want to thank all the men and women of our armed forces for what they do and putting their lives on the line every day to make us safe. And on behalf of me and all the people I do, thank you so much for your dedication. We really appreciate it.
And Rich, thank you so much for entertaining us for so many years, and God bless you and your family during this holiday season. And you have an open invite anytime you want to come on the show.
Great, love to do it.
Thank you so much.
All right, there we go. That's it. That was our celebrity messages, holiday messages.
Ruby's destroying the set right now. Just want you to know that.
You had to let Ruben talk just now because that was our minority feature. That was a minority section of the show. So, Ruben, anything else you want to say?
Yeah, you're fired.
I'm not getting paid, so who gives a fuck?
Yeah, all right, so...
I'm going to call Donald Trump.
He won't take your fucking call.
Yeah, right? What are you going to use? Your SafeLink phone that you got from the GA? You got
Guys can't even make a fucking copy. They're gonna call somebody.
Oh, God.
It's funny, when I put the Christmas show together, I asked Ed, I said, Ed, do you want to combine stuff? He goes, yeah, no problem. And I didn't realize that Gene had scheduled somebody for the 6 o'clock hour. So I said, let's start early, and then we'll run. You know, we'll wing it to see how late we go. Right away, hey, buddy, you can't be saving time with other people. You know, these people pay for the shows. All right, Gene, relax.
Michael Lepowski wanted to know if Gilbert Godfrey sent a message, but...
No, he did not.
But I think he's doing it right now.
Actually, technically, yes, if Gilbert Godfrey.
Wonderful Christmas time. I love it.
There's your go, Michael.
Wait a minute. I think you
That's better than Gilbert.
I think you could do a better Stallone than Rich Little.
Let me tell you something. You know what I feel like doing? Merry Christmas, everybody, all right? I feel like punching some meat. That's what I feel like.
What about the other
Why
guy?
does he want to punch?
What about the other guy with that broken leg?
Oh, you know, I swear to God, you're right on the skull when you do that. You know what I feel like dancing? I feel like dancing around the Christmas tree. That's what I feel like doing.
Carlo,
That's right.
Yes.
we have Mr. Modica that would like to...
He's going to sing, yes, for what song?
I
does he want?
can't do Mr. Modica. I'm sorry.
Yeah, right.
Why not? Try.
I haven't heard a fucking word all night.
I don't think he wants to be done anyway.
Wait, you ready? You ready? I'll do Mr. Modica. Here it goes.
Oh, my heart. You're on my hose.
That's my fucking material.
Come on up, Frank. Come on up. Hey, can we set up Mr. Modica in the front here, please?
Someone get him a chair before he breaks a hip, everybody.
You're on my hose.
You're on my hose. That's fucking hilarious, right?
And,
This chair.
Frank, correct me if I'm wrong.
He didn't want to walk any further. Why'd you move the chair?
Frank, how old is Dad?
89.
89? Oh, okay.
Just to clarify.
I thought he said you were 98. He must be dyslexic. I'm sorry.
My favorite Gilbert Godfrey joke was he said, I got a call from Dr. Kevorkian. He said, how you doing? I went, fine.
I'm fine. No, I like the one he goes, 3 fags are in a hot tub. One fag says to the other, all of a sudden, a big blob of semen rushes to the top. One fag says to the other fag, okay, who farted?
Way to bring it down, Nick.
That's 2 times.
Twice now.
Yeah, right? All right.
Were you working this weekend?
There's going to be a 3rd time. Don't worry about it.
Give him reverb, too. Give him a lot of reverb.
Yeah.
Frank, what are we singing?
Mammy.
Man, okay, Mammy. That's his go-to.
Al Jolson?
You ain't heard nothing yet.
Yes.
Al Jolson. Wow.
Yep.
All right, everybody, please pay attention and give your love to Frank Modica with his version of Mammy.
Frank Modica Sr. Come on, Frankie.
Am I on?
Yep.
You're on.
Okay. Everything seems lovely when you start to roam. The birds are singing the day that you strain. But wait until you are further away. Things won't be so lovely when you're all alone. Here's what you keep saying when you're far from home. Mommy, mommy, the sun shines east, the sun shines west. I know where the sun shines best. Mommy, my little mammy, my heartstring a tangle around all about me. I'm a-coming. Sorry that I made you wait. I'm a-coming. Hope and trust that I'm not late. Oh, mommy, my little mommy. I walk on me and my, well, on your smile. My mommy, oh, mommy, my little mommy. The sun shines east, the sun shines west. I know where the sun shines best. It's on my mommy I'm talking about. Nobody else's. My little mommy, my heartstring, I tangle around all about me. Mommy, mommy, I'm coming. Oh, I hope I don't make you wait. Mommy, mommy, I'm coming. Oh, Lord, I hope I'm not late. Mommy, mommy, look at me. Don't you know me? I'm your little baby. I walk on me and miles. Oh, under your smile, mommy. I'm sorry, folks, it wasn't the way I came in.
All right, Frankie. Frank Rodriguez Sr., give it up. Come on. Thank you, Frankie.
He's 92 now.
Perfect.
I'll be happy if I'm walking at that age. So sing.
God bless him. He goes to karaoke every week.
It's not a horrible
His
voice.
phone number is on more women's bathroom stalls in Ocean County than any other
Can
guy.
we play Home Don't Feel Like Home?
Yes, you can. All right, come on.
No, we have it queued up.
All right, right. Well, go ahead. All right, this is Rob.
It's already set.
This is the
Home Don't Feel Like Home.
The recorded version.
This is the recorded version, the Anthony Crizon master mix of Christine Martucci's song "Home Don't Feel Like Home." It goes out to all of our troops worldwide, whether you're serving or not, whether you're a veteran or not. We send this out to you. Please support it. Please look it up on bandcamp.jerseystyle.com. And proceeds are going to go to Vet Rest to help us hire more coaches. But just embrace the song for what it is. You're just going to love it.
I fell and kissed the ground when the plane touched down. Welcome home. There were people waving signs with pride in their eyes. It wasn't so long ago. Now my first line is 42nd Street. Standing in the rain with a cup of tea. And this bird can't find me. Is anybody out there? Can anybody help me? I feel like a stranger in this land, the land that's still fighting home. Home don't feel like home anymore. I wake up in a cold sweat in the subway line. Shaking up the chain pulls a trigger in my brain, and I go back in time. I once chased a dream. Now my dreams are chasing me. I don't stand a chance when I can't see the enemy. Is anybody out there? Can anybody hear me? I feel like a stranger in this land, a land that's still worth fighting for. Home don't feel like home anymore. love. Is anybody out there? Can anybody hear me? Is anybody out there? Can anybody hear me? Is anybody out there? Can anybody hear me? Is anybody out there?
That I can never get tired of. Cheryl, you want to get on mic real quick? I just want to talk to you.
Yeah.
This is the genius. This is the female version of Barry Manilow. She writes
Cheryl,
songs.
here.
Here.
You know all the words too.
This is Cheryl DeVega.
Vega.
I happen to be the only one who doesn't forget the words.
The alcohol helps.
She's right on that.
She has like a Bonnie Tyler type voice. I like that. Nice raspy.
Very smoky.
That's Christine.
I know.
Yeah, it's very smoky. Yeah, it's like very. She reminds me of Pat Benatar. Actually,
Yes.
you know.
A little Melissa Etheridge.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah. So what went into writing this song? You were in a lounge.
How'd that come from?
No, she was having drinks with Anthony or something.
You guys got the abridged version.
Oh, okay.
This song.
So it was a
used to
seedy
be-
motel.
The seedy motel at West Point.
Yes.
It was a very strange bunch of circumstances, and I'm gonna say, Gino, the universe was.
So it involves.
Thank you.
So it involves marijuana.
Oh, please don't get him started because he'll say,
universe was
Thank
talking,
you.
and we were listening. But it was originally a shitty song called "Spare Change," and this is exactly what happened. I wrote this song called "Spare Change." I listened. I was like, oh, I just don't know who this person is or why we care about him.
It's Ruben.
I put it away. I literally put the song away. And a couple days later, I got an email from a girlfriend saying that ASCAP was having this song contest, and they were looking for a song in the spirit of the 1920s, Brother, Can You Spare a Dime?
Okay.
And I thought, how weird is this? I just wrote this bad Spare Change song, and all of a sudden this comes up. So Anthony and I were supposed to be working on something else that day, and I came and I said, Aunt, this is just too weird. I got this shitty song, Spare Change, and there's this contest. And we tried to rewrite Spare Change into a better than shitty song. And I had to go to a girlfriend's up in Garrison, New York, and I was staying at West Point that weekend. And while I was at the hotel, I kept asking myself, who is this guy? Why do we care? Who is this person? Why do we care? Why do we care? And in the meantime, these cadets are just marching in front of me, and I'm like, okay, finally, a shovel hit me in the head.
Right.
Oh, this is a military person coming back.
Right.
And then I started actually reading, reading New York Times articles about how people felt when they came home.
Right.
And somebody in one of those New York Times articles was describing how when they came home, it just didn't feel like home anymore. And I thought, oh my God. So I came back Monday morning. We had a deadline. We had to submit it to this contest. And I came back and I said, Aunt, it's not Spare Change. I changed all the words and everything. And it's home don't feel like home. And he went, what? What the hell are you talking about? And then it all just came together. And we submitted it to this contest and we won. And it
Well,
was
you deserve a round of applause.
Yeah, exactly. I don't can take
We're
credit.
just middlemen. That's all we are.
Well,
That's exactly right.
all three of you and Colonel Vici, yours are a team, and it's like an all-star team in football or baseball or you know,
hockey.
Thank you, Carlos, so much for having us and for putting
it's
this
my-
song
it's
out
my
there and letting
pleasure.
us have a platform. We
Absolutely.
really appreciate it.
Love you guys. Bye-bye.
And Merry Christmas, everyone.
All right. We're going to get out of here in a few minutes, but I want to have all our musical guests come up, and as well as everybody on this show in about 5 minutes or so. So please try not to go nowhere if you don't have to. I know Shay has to go to work tomorrow, so he's going to quietly slip out without nobody knowing.
I'm gonna quietly leave now.
Just like Santa.
Where did Shay go? Shay, and all, thank you for
Happy birthday, Shay.
Happy birthday! Thank you for a great year of being a co-host and showing up every week and bringing it week after week.
I can't come by next year.
We're gonna say goodnight with a song.
You're off next year.
I'm off next year.
I always got your check.
Yeah. Merry Christmas to you and your family.
Kelly,
everyone. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Kelly, thank you for coming down. Love you. And we'll see you soon. So, Paul, you had a story you wanted to talk about?
I did.
Oh yeah. No, the funny Paul.
Oh, Hatfields and McCoy, round two.
Yeah, I wanted to bring up a story from England. It's
already boring.
Yeah, no, it's actually quite a good one. You'll enjoy it. It's about eating. So
I wouldn't eat English food.
Well, you might. This lady, her mother died, and she wanted to get close to her, and she was trying to figure out what to do with the ashes, and she suddenly decided that she was going to start eating them. So she's eating a little bit of it every day, and she's going to sprinkle it on the Christmas dinner for the whole family.
Ew.
Can I get those 30 seconds of my life back, please?
Man, would you do that with your
Is this a Christmas story?
No, it's Christmas dinner.
She puts the ashes all over her goose. But,
okay.
Yeah, so.
I don't know where that was going.
I don't know where to go from there.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Figgy
Ashes
pudding.
to ashes,
Dust
funky,
to
funky.
You know what?
Let's get Christine up here. Let's get Domini. Let's get Jill, Steve Keller, Anthony, everybody up here. You know the words. I'm going to play the instrumental on here. If they shut us off, they shut us
Everybody,
off.
we're back on.
Let's be sure.
All right, everybody. The next celebrity. All right, everybody. We're back here on the Animal House Radio Show, and we have another celebrity who wants to send out a holiday message to all our men and women overseas. Back on the show again, Mr. Steve Gutenberg.
Thank you so much. And I just want to tell the troops all over the world how honored we are and how grateful we are for your service. My dad was in the Airborne 82nd, and he was such a great soldier and so thrilled to serve our country. Thank you so much. And I wish you all the best, a healthy, happy New Year. And maybe you come out and join the police academy.
Absolutely. Steve, thank you so much. God bless you and your family. Have a healthy and happy holiday. Let us know if you need to come back on the show. You're more than welcome. You have an open door with us anytime.
Would love to, man. Keep thinking positive.
Thank you so much. Have a
Bring the
great
robot
day.
next time. Thanks, Steve. Appreciate it.
That's so cool.
All right, so I'm gonna defer to the musical experts here. I want.
Let's go bring a lineup right here.
Yeah, they could
We'll
just-
face that way.
I want to. Who wants to take the lead on this? Jill, Christine, Domini. I want the three of you to lead us in Santa Claus is coming to town.
We gotta
Domini's ready.
We have to
We
hear,
just
we have
need
to hear what
Jill.
Keats in too. We have to hear what Keats in.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Well, we don't know until we hear it.
And it's gonna. This reminds Ed of when he dressed up as
It's gonna
Santa
be-
Claus a few years
It's
ago.
gonna be an instrumental.
Dressed up as Santa Claus a couple of weeks ago.
There's an intro though. We hear an intro.
Did you come?
An instrumental of Bruce's version.
Oh.
Okay. So.
We'll put mics in front of everybody. That's what we'll do.
I want everybody, all our guests, come on.
Santa Claus is coming to town.
I want everybody. I want Gene. I want Colonel Vici, Sandy, Cheryl, Anthony.
We'll put mics right in front of everybody. We'll get the mics.
Dave Hodjanowski.
Dave
I told Dave to fucking call.
He's in
Florida.
Florida.
Dave gave up.
Yeah, one's over there.
Just let me know when you guys are ready.
You took my mic, you little bastard.
We're singing.
I want the talented people up
Oh,
front.
why not? Hey, you need a mic? All right, so.
Keller, get in here, Keller.
Get up on somebody's phone.
What do you know what kids are? Hold on. All right, everybody, we're going to close out the show tonight. I want to thank everybody. Yeah, I want to thank everybody. All right, shut up. I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. I want to give all these talented people that performed tonight a round of applause. God bless you all. Merry Christmas to our group.
Let's make sure we have the music up loud enough so we can hear it too.
Wait, let me just say that.
I'm sure we don't.
I want you to come home safe, and we're thinking about you. Even though we're having a party here today, we realize that some of you are overseas in some very bad conditions. So I want to say Merry Christmas to all our listeners, and thank you. Thank you to my Animal House Radio family for another great year of radio, and I look forward to 2018. We're going to close out this show with Santa Claus is Coming to Town by these phenomenal. Everybody's welcome to join us. You let me know when you want me to hit the...
And the word of the week was indulge.
That's going to be Ed's paper, right?
God bless
Let's make sure that the music's up loud enough so we can hear it.
everyone.
Don't say anything you want, Baba.
Looks like Anthony's surrounded by Babas.
Everybody in here. Everybody. I want to see Gina Rubin do Ebony and Ivory. On this cable. Come on, Gene, let's sing it. Stop fucking with the photocopier. Let's go. Fucking idiot.
Off the track.
Off the track.
Let's make sure it's up loud enough so we can hear it.
Oh, we're going off the tracks, all right. Gene's trying to get the photocopier to play the song.
The beauty of it is live is that the beauty of live is that it doesn't matter if we make mistakes. It's all about the holiday. Everybody's going to be singing lyrics.
We don't even know what key it's in. How do you go with a guitar? We don't know what key it's in.
Just make up any key.
We got to know what key it's in first.
90 font.
Does it say what key it's in?
Let me know what you want.
Gene doesn't know how to work YouTube.
I'm not doing it.
Start the track.
Right on the set. Here we go. Ready? Turn it up loud.
The words are on the monitor if you need them.
Oh yeah, that's readable. What the fuck? Gene, you moron. How was that? Santa Claus is going down!
Santa Claus is coming to town.
I say we go with that version.
Do you know the chords, Anthony, by yourself?
Gene,
I didn't play it.
I think you just play
He's
it.
playing a screamo version of it.
Just play it. You play it. We'll sing it.
Sex Pistols sing Santa Claus is coming to town.
Just do it your version, Anthony. Do it your version. Doesn't matter.
It's gonna be better than that shit.
Santa Claus is coming to town. Santa Claus is coming to town. Santa Claus is coming to town. You better watch out. You better not cry. You better not shout. I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming to town. Santa Claus is coming to town. Santa Claus is coming to town. He sees you when you're sleeping. He knows when you're awake. He knows if you've been bad or good. So be good for goodness.
You better be good for goodness.
You better not shout. You better not cry. Better not shout. I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming to town. Santa Claus is coming to town. Santa Claus is coming to town. Little tin horns, little toy drums, Rudy toot toots and rummy tum tums, curly hair cows, cuddling cows, and sing and killing us. Santa
Show. We'll see you all next year.
All right, we lost the Santa Claus crowd.
All right, that was the rehearsal. Let's do it again.
The Jews just turned out. With the Jews, all we got left the Jews. More Jews. I made fun of them earlier.